We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Kia ora koutou everyone, welcome to day 4, the final day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Champs. We are under blue skies, the sun is shining and the walkers have begun their 25 laps of the track on this 10,000 metre race walk. We've also got one junior doing the 5,000 metre race, maybe it's 2, but anyway we've got 7 athletes out there going at it over either 5,000 metres or 10,000 metres, and a lot to come today as well as we look forward to, in particular, the 200 metre finals on the track, the 1,500 metres, the high hurdles, and then we finish off the day with the 4x4s. So there's a little overview of the track races this morning. So the heats in the high hurdles and the 200s, and then we get into the finals of the 1,500s. Got the 200 metre para, which will be fascinating to see some of our top para stars competing at midday. But here's an early look at the race walkers, the first race on the track. So let's run through the start list. In the under 18s 5,000 metres, we've got Richie Trathan and Campbell Donovan. In the women's 5,000 metres, well, here's a good little overview. We've got Annika Nelson, Laura Langley, Alana Matthews, Lucas Martin, Alexander Brown, Jonah Kropp, Toby O'Rourke. Now, obviously, we've got the senior women races in there, Annika, Laura and Alana, and then we've got one under 20 or 2 under 20 10,000 metre races, Jonah Kropp and Toby O'Rourke, and then the 2 senior men, Lucas Martin and Alexander Brown. Now on the other side of the track, the 5,000 metre junior athletes have started as well, so we'll do our best to keep tabs on where everyone is. But I can tell you this is the early race leader in the 10,000 metres, and he's competing in the under 20 division. Jonah Kropp, he's been having a fantastic summer so far, and 44.47 is his personal best over the 10,000 metres. When you think about it, those viewers who are comparing your running times to your walking times, he's ticking over at faster than 4 minutes 30 a K. So he's gone out to the early lead, very early stages. We're 4.5 minutes into this race.
Hayden, really good to be here this morning on this 4th day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships, and I can very much relate to that because I tried running 25 laps here in November, and to be fair, I only got halfway and I was running at a time slower than 4:30 kilometres, so this is impressive stuff this morning, and particularly looking forward to seeing what time Jonah Kropp can post here, because he could well challenge the performance standard for the World Under-20s. And with the women, Annika Nelson and Laura Langley, should be a terrific battle. Annika has already won a title at these championships in the 3,000 metres, and she's following in the footsteps of her father, Scott Nelson, who was a Commonwealth Games bronze medalist for New Zealand in the 30-kilometre walk back in 1994, and he did go to the Olympics in Atlanta in the 20-kilometre walk in 1996. Annika these days based in Australia, talking to her mum this morning. Annika really looking forward to another good performance, and Laura Langley is the defending champion and has a slew of titles to her name too, so might be just two of them out there, but it should be a pretty fierce competition.
Absolutely. And perfect conditions for race walking this morning. It's not freezing cold, but it's definitely not too hot for this. The wind, I can see the windsock is hanging pretty limply, so really ideal conditions. Now this is the men's para shot, and Corin Hanning, we've seen a lot of these boys so far this evening, this weekend, and there is Rory Poff and Mac Denniston is the last one there. So we've got Corin Hanning, Jack Adams, Rory Poff, who we saw, Mac Denniston, Brian Wilson, Kaylin Harris, Josh Chisholm and Ben Tua Masevi. Great to see Ben out for the first time this weekend, I believe. Former Paralympian. So we go back to this race walk. And I can tell you that the pace was on early, with Jonah Kropp going through 1K, and I want to say in about 4:15. So we'll keep track on how he's going.
Laura Langley and Toby O'Rourke there, travelling together. Obviously, Laura in the women's 10,000 and Toby O'Rourke in the men's under 20, up against Jonah Kropp, who's set a fierce pace up top in this particular division. But there's 5 different races going on here in the women's under 18 5,000 metres. We've got Stacey Hooper of Canterbury wearing number 345, Yandri Farry from Auckland 167, and Sinead O'Sullivan, the Taranaki top, number 667. Those men's under 20 doing the 10,000 metres. Jonah Kropp on the Canterbury singlet 322, and Toby O'Rourke, Taranaki competitor, number 430, who we saw there walking with Laura Langley. Got one in the women's under 20, Alana Matthews of Auckland, number 213, blue top. We've talked about Annika Nelson, obviously, who's Laura Langley's competitor in the senior women's. So there's races within races here, and they did start the 10,000 metres and the 5,000 metres, opposite sides of the track, of course, at the same time at 9 o'clock this morning, as Hayden said, in perfect walking conditions. Will it be good throwing conditions for the discus this morning at 9:15? That's coming up soon, and that'll be one of the highlights early on here. I spoke with Connor Bell this morning, the national record holder and defending national champion, and he said he wouldn't mind a bit more wind, ideally, for discus throwing. And of course he's coming off a really strong training block, and he'll be heading to the United States off the back of this, so not expecting big numbers today, but obviously he has in his sights, once he gets across to the other side of the world, the qualifying standard of 67.20 for the Olympics. And he's not too far off that, what he's been throwing very consistently so far this domestic season, and across in Australia as well, where he's managed to take the scalp of leading Australian Matt Denny a couple of times. So more on that very shortly, as we continue to watch the 10,000 and 5,000 metre race walks with 5 different categories on the track. First up this morning.
Early days in the competition, second round start.
Very technical event, of course, Hayden. So obviously walking as fast as you can over the distances is one thing, but having to do it within the rules as well. And we've seen over the years in international competition some pretty harsh disqualifications after people have done a lot of mahi on the track and it's counted for nothing.
Absolutely. So the 2 key rules that you need to be thinking about is 1 foot on the ground at all times. So by the naked eye, so there's no slow motion video referee, and if you did slow it down you would actually see these very short moments of flight time. But you can see Lucas Martin there firmly planted, and we see Alexander Brown firmly keeping his feet on the ground. And the other aspect is that at that point of first contact, as your foot strikes the ground, we want the knee nice and straight, which provides that limitation to the speed that you can go at. So what these men and women need to do, therefore, is, because your stride length is restricted by just the sheer length of your legs, with no flight time, you actually just need to work on that cadence to get faster. So hence why these guys and girls are moving their feet very, very quickly, and to get up around that sort of 4 minutes per K, 15K an hour speed, that leg turnover is key, and something that we actually look for as we see the start list for the triple jump, that race walk coaches will look for. They'll often be scouting around the middle distance runners, saying who's got the good leg speed, who's got that good engine, because those 2 combos tend to make good race walkers, good leg speed and a good aerobic engine, of course.
Yeah. The women's triple jump under 18, it's another big field, Hayden, and really encouraging to see the numbers we've got at the Nationals in some of these disciplines, and particularly triple jump at the moment. Obviously, we were treated yesterday to an outstanding performance from Ethan Olivier, who extended his New Zealand residence record here in taking the national title. But throughout the grades, we've had good numbers. Yesterday at the long jump pit, in the long jump and the triple jump, the big numbers that we had meant to a long day. One area of the program that did end in delay, but it ended with a great competition in the senior women's, taken out by local jumper Phoebe Edwards.
Yeah, we've seen some great action over in that horizontal jumping pit end of the ground, and there's been a good crowd just parked up on that that embankment.
Good spot to be, gets the early morning sunshine. There's a little bit of shadow around the far bend, and that far bend is going to be a hive of activity later this morning with 200 metres. Thoroughly looking forward to the entertainment there, where in the women's we see Rosie Elliott and Portia Bing and Georgia Hulls and Danielle Aitchison, who has already set a world record at these national championships, T36 100 metre world record when she ran up against Zoe Hobbs on Friday afternoon. And she'll have her sights on the 200 metre record, particularly if conditions stay like they are right now. And on the track, we have to mention Sam Tanner with the men's 1500, 12:35, the start time there, Hayden. And Sam, clear favourite obviously for the national title, and a man who's been second fastest overall in New Zealand history behind Nick Willis at tender age of 23.
Absolutely, really excited to see Sam in full flight. He had his work cut out for him, keeping up with James Preston on Friday night, but back in his favoured event, the 1500. And a good-sized field in this senior men's discus. We've got 13 men lining up, led, of course, by Connor Bell, the New Zealand record holder. 65.39 is his top distance. Nathaniel Sulupo, there is Connor Bell doing the double shaka. There is the Southland athlete, Trent Hogg. They're totally out of order from the names that I've got in front of me, but anyway, there is Kieran Fowler. We'll keep with it. Corin Hanning's doing the bit of multitasking, doing the para shot on the other side of the stadium.
Women's triple jump under 18 through the first round. Annalyn Rudd, 10.82, leading. Local athlete, Juliet McKinley, Annalyn's local. Juliet McKinley, not far up the road. Manawatu Whanganui, 10.46, currently lying second. And Ella Waldron, she's had 2 jumps, 10.43, her second, has her in third, a centimetre clear of Lisa Lockman, 10.42 with her second jump. And so we'll keep you posted on that as best we can. Can tell you, Laurette Barrett Hamilton, we just saw her jump there in the Auckland singlet, and she has just come up with 11.13, so she goes to the lead. She fouled first time up, and just looking at the wind here, she was actually into a -0.2 after starting with a plus 1.2. We've talked about it all weekend, how the wind, even as light as it is at the moment, can swirl around. Another Canterbury athlete into the pit. I think that might have been Lulu O'Sullivan. We'll see what gets registered there. And we'll keep you up to speed as best we can and get you back to the track as well, where obviously we've got these people at very different stages of the competition.
All right, we're underway in this discus competition. Max Abbott, local boy, beginning his morning effort, and tough work for these power athletes to begin their day in cool conditions, as we see Laura Langley continuing her march towards what could well be another national title here in the 10,000 metres.
She's off to the World Team Race Walking Championships in Turkey next month, is Laura, off the back of this, and Annika Nelson, her race rival today, will join her there.
Jared Neighbours spinning for the first time around that discus circle. And these throwers are throwing from the zoo end of the stadium, which means they'll be throwing into a slight crosswind, that northerly just coming over from the right to the left of the sector from the thrower's point of view. So from the grandstand towards the long jump section.
Connor this morning saying that for him as a right-handed thrower, a wind over the left shoulder across his right arm is the worst wind for him. He's looking forward to getting to Oklahoma for a couple of meetings next month where you get some favourable conditions. Discus throwers tend to go really well there, and he's hoping that he can pull out something big, obviously, and go beyond that 67.20 for Olympic qualification. And we know he's got it in him. He's a young man with it all ahead of him. It's remarkable what he's done so far at his young age to be the national record holder and to be throwing as consistently as he does in the mid-60s.
Absolutely. One of the true rising stars. We just seem to have this conveyor belt of producing wonderful world-class throwers here in New Zealand, and it's been really one of the key stories of the athletics history over the last probably 20 years, 25 years really, since Beatrice Faumuina launched things into the late 90s, and then arrived Val, and then obviously Tom and Jacko have carried that on. Now Connor Bell, Tori Peters, the hammer throw girls. It's wonderful variety of throwers and really, really exciting. All right, so here is Richie Trathan in the 5,000 metre race walk. And I'll try to get you a mid-race update because Jonah Kropp is in the under-20 race, and I can tell you he's only 50 metres away from coming up to the shoulder of Lucas Martin, who's leading the senior men's. So Jonah Kropp will, at some stage soon, lap Lucas Martin. So the under-20 leader will most likely come up to lap the senior men's leader, and there's only a year or so separating those two. Lucas Martin, of course, is probably well known to a lot of people. You probably recognise his voice from the NZ Predict Instagram handle, where he does a great job interviewing athletes at meets all around the country. So be sure to jump on that and get little snippets of info from athletes after they've competed. And Lucas also does fantastic work volunteering and marshalling at all these events, as we see Stacey Hooper. She's in the women's 18 5,000 metre race walk.
One of the under-18s has just been in the sin bin, so to speak, Hayden. Sinead O'Sullivan of Taranaki. She had to serve a penalty. There's a penalty box here for 3 red cards, and Sinead unfortunately had to call the heels in there. She's back out now and up competing against Stacey Hooper and Yandri Fari.
Nathaniel Sulupo in the discus. We saw him in the shot put yesterday. Continuing on. And just, you saw there that yellow warning flag come out from the marshal. Now that is not a penalty. So you get 3 strikes, but we will not actually see those strikes. So they use the little paddles to give warnings to the athletes, saying, I can see that technique is just starting to err, so just watch it. The penalties will actually go up on a board just near the start-finish line of the 100 metres, and athletes will be able to see. So once they get 3, they will be withdrawn from the race. So you need to be accurate. There is one of our officials just sitting down there. But the race walking officials do a great job of communicating to the athletes, and in a way it is a form of coaching to keep that technique on track, particularly as you fatigue. So the paddles don't necessarily mean a penalty.
This is Richie Trathen. He got the bell lap, so he's on his last lap of the 5,000 metres. 23 minutes and 20 seconds in. Here's Richie.
And the Pakuranga athlete, Richie Trathen, we thank you.
All right, Richie Trathen. Here he comes up to the finish in the 5,000 metres. He's in the men's under 18, and he's going to win. It looks like in a good personal best, 23:36. I want to say, well, all I've got actually is his 3,000 metre time, so that's not going to be good to compare it. But here we go. Connor Bell in the discus. Whoo! That's the way to get things going in the morning. Spinning around, getting that discus out towards the 60 metre mark. Game on, ladies and gentlemen.
Pretty good effort. I did say to Connor, have you ever competed at 9 o'clock in the morning? He says it's pretty early, but he said there are some competitions where you might do a qualifying round quite early in the morning. So I said, like everything, it's a good opportunity to experience this. It may help him in the future, but it's about as early as it gets for the discus throwers.
Ella Waldron, 3rd round jump for her. She's sitting on a 10:43 best today. And there is Laura Langley. You can see that leg speed, see the intensity that she brings to this race walk. She's moving very well indeed. And that's Toby O'Rourke just behind her wearing the Taranaki colours. And Taranaki so he's sitting second place in the 10,000 metre senior men's.
And he's clearly labelled Laura Langley as about the speed that he wants to be going. He's been tracking her for a long way, using her as a marker and a guide. He lost her back there for a little bit. He's trying to close back on that again to help him to the best possible time here today. Richie Tratham was up against Campbell Donovan. Campbell's still out there, the Taranaki athlete. He can't be too far from his bell lap.
So, if you've just tuned into the coverage this morning, it's great to have your company. This is, of course, the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Champs, day 4 of 4. And right now we have the under 18 triple jump. We've got the senior men's discus throw featuring Connor Bell, our New Zealand record holder, and we have 2 distances going on the race walk, 5,000 metres for the under 18s and 10,000 metres for the under 20s and seniors. And we've also got the para shot happening, the men's para shot. So plenty to take in this morning. We'll do our best to keep tabs on everything that's happening, but I can tell you this man, Jonah Kropp, is positively steaming around Newtown Park. He's come here with a game plan. He's got his game face on with the sunnies. Right from the gun, he sped out to an early lead, and he is winning outright this 10,000 metres. He's already lapped the senior men's leader in Lucas Martin, and he continues to pull away. He's now put 80 metres on Lucas Martin on top of that 400 he's already got.
Close to finishing.
We had a little look at Alana Matthews as we go back to this women's triple jump. Juliet McKinley,
Got 1 to go.
who's sitting in third place at the moment with a 10.58, but it's very, very close. Multiple women are up into the 10.40s. So 7th place, Lisa Lockman is 10.42, and then we go right up to 4th place, 10.47, Zara Rattray, who we see on screen right now, and just losing the rhythm of that one. So she'll remain in 3rd place at the end of round 3. Now we will need to say farewell to 2 athletes, Hunter Avery and Giselle Kenworthy, who just missed the cut-off for entering the final 3 rounds. So the other 8 athletes, Jessica Lathwood, Lisa Lockman, Sarah Wather, Ella Wardren, Zara Rattray, Juliet McKinley, and Annalyn Rudd, and Lauren Barrett Hamilton, who leads the competition. They all move through to the final 3 rounds.
Pretty remarkable, as you say, with the 8th placed Jessica Lathwood only a matter of about 30 to 40 centimetres out of the medal. So that's a very open competition with that standout jump in the second round of Lauren Barrett Hamilton so far with 11 and 13.
And we think this is Campbell Donovan from Taranaki finishing his 5K, men's under 18.
Laura Langley moving smoothly into the back straight on this occasion.
And we've got Campbell Donovan, the Taranaki athlete, coming up to finish his 5,000 metres. So he finishes 2nd behind Richie Tratham in the M18. And it looks like this is Yandi Fari coming up to finish her 5,000 metres. So this will be the winner of the women's 18 5,000 metre race walk. Yandri has had a wonderful 7.5 laps in the Wellington sunshine. She'll finish under 30 minutes. Great work, Yandri. Well-deserved national title with 3 ladies in this competition. Stacey Hooper and Sinead O'Sullivan still to finish.
Straight to the water table for them as well. Must be a relief to break into a trot as well. Corin Henning, she is in 2 competitions at the moment, Corin, going between the discus and the para shot.
And his own New Zealand record.
Laura Langley, look at this technique as she goes past Lucas Martin. And you can see the difference there in that turnover. Laura Langley is looking in great form today, still not letting off that pace. And we're 30 minutes into this race.
Laura's race rival, Annika Nelson, just going through past the start-finish line now. 8 laps remaining. Annika, the winner over 3,000 metres earlier in this championship. Both Annika and Laura to represent New Zealand in the World Team Race Walking Championships in Turkey next month.
Yeah, another international global...
there's one a month, I think, this year, isn't there?
Yeah, there's so much to keep track of in international athletics. As we see the discus running side by side with the parashot. And here he is, the race leader, Jonah Kropp, moving really, really well. Now I'm going to try to, as he comes up to the start-finish line, try to work out exactly where he is, because he should be around about that 3/4 mark now. They're saying 7 laps to go, which would be, yeah, so that's 2.8k to go. So he's moving really, really well. So he's gone through 7k already. So maybe I'll try and get a split for him at 8k, and then we can work out a projected time. I'm sure people at home, race walking aficionados, have already done that in their minds. But look at Laura Langley. We saw her with Lucas Martin not so long ago. That's the gap that she's opened up in about a lap. So she's moving so smoothly, so well, and I think she's only, 100 metres behind Lucas Martin?
Yep, will be that. She's just about to enter the back straight, and Luke and Jonah Kropp about to come off the top bend there, and she really has ramped it up. He's clearly feeling good in ideal conditions.
So here's Alexander Brown, who's in the senior men, so he's sitting in second place behind Lucas.
Goes through with 7 laps to go, 32 and 40 on the clock. And Jonah Kropp making his way down to the start-finish line. 6 laps out.
So Alexander on screen there is the reigning 20k road champ. You think 10,000 metres is grueling, tried 20. And believe it or not, there's a 50k race walk, of course. And I believe at the Olympics have we removed the 50k, and now it's both 20?
That is a very good question. We've seen some terrible scenes at the end of 50-kilometre walks, particularly in the hot conditions. And so I can't answer that question exactly, but it wouldn't be a surprise to me if they had.
So we're just told by the stadium announcer that she's got the 7 laps to go. So that would mean that she's a lap and a bit behind Jonah Kropp. But Jonah and Laura both moving really well, are the Cantabrians. And let's go to another Cantabrian who's got the thermals under the singlet. Good plan, Max Atwell.
Currently an 8th spot, Max, so looking to hang in there for top 8 and another 3 throws. Connor Bell leading, 57 and 68. Nathaniel Salupo, 48, 88. And Kieran Fowler, 47 and 71. Good battle for the minor medals with Jared Neighbours, 43 and 71. Connor Bell comfortably clear. And our interest is to see whether he throws beyond 60 metres off a really hard training block.
All right, here's Salupo. Oh, lots of power in that circle. Good release on that one. That's out around about that 50-metre mark, which if it is beyond 48.88 will be a new best for this morning. And here is Sarah Watha from French Polynesia. Sinks into the soft sand. And look at Laura Langley. Really pressing. She wants a good confidence boost. Of course she wants the national title, but she wants a good confidence boost before going to those team champs. 6 to go. So 6 laps to go. So she'll be coming up to 8K very soon. And so that means that our man Jonah Kropp has gone through 8K already. And I missed the split. Apologies for that, everyone.
Back at the men's para shot. Jack Adams there, who's leading the competition with the longest throw of 10.80, longest put, 10.86 in round 1, 10.78 in round number 3. A couple of good consistent throws there. Salupo's just gone 49.36 there. Finished 4th yesterday behind the big 3 in the shot. Jack O'Gill heading off Tom Walsh and Nick Palmer, and Nathaniel Salupo finishing 4th there. Back in action today in the discus and going well.
There's Zara Rattray. She wants to get up into that bronze medal position, which is held by Juliet McKinlay with that 10.58. Here he is, Connor Bell, throw number 2 this morning. He opened strongly, that one again straight down the sector, and it hits the grass and just skims about another 30-40 metres, almost over to the high jump area on the other side of the ground. Connor Bell.
A little bit of a grimace coming out of the cage. It does look about a similar distance to his round number 1. Obviously didn't feel just as good as he maybe wanted it to, but as Hayden said, it was straight down the middle, and yeah, wouldn't want to be standing in line of that, the way that it skimmed off the grass. A little bit of morning dew this morning, but a gorgeous day for day 4.
So Alexander Brown tailed by Annika Nelson. And Annika just hears me and rolls on by. These two with similar 10K PBs coming into this. Annika with a 51.48 best on the 10K roads, but here she is on the track and moving pretty well. As we see round 2, this is Trent Hogg, the Southland athlete.
Trent fouling in the first round, so looking for a measured throw here, which he has got. Here's Jonah Kropp down towards the start-finish and 3 laps remaining, so 1.2 kilometres for Jonah. Hayden's got his eagle eye on the time. She's gone through around 38.36 there.
Corin Hanning in the para shot. And we're back to the leaders in this. This is Juliet McKinlay. And she's in 3rd place at the moment. And she, of course, won the long jump earlier in the weekend. So she would love to back up that long jump victory with a medal here. But look at Laura Langley. She gets the 4 laps to go for Laura. So starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with less than a mile to go. Now it's only 1K to go for the man at the other end of the track, Jonah Kropp, and the time when he went through that 1K to go was about 39.30. So do the maths. He could well be on for a personal best. His personal best 44.47, as we see Lucas Martin, who's got a personal best of 46.10. I don't know if he's going to be able to crack that today, but he's doing well this weekend, balancing racing duties, officiating, and media credentials this weekend. So busy boy, as we see Annalyn Rudd sitting in second place with a 10.82. She is 31 centimetres back from Lauren Barrett Hamilton of Auckland, who's thrown jumped a PB, sorry.
I can tell you Connor Bell's second attempt, 57.48, the discus, so 20 centimetres down on his first throw.
Changing the lead. Lauren Barrett Hamilton continues to lead from Annalyn Rudd and Juliet.
Laura Langley just having a little look at the penalty board to her right as she goes past Toby O'Rourke.
He's the leader in the women's under-18 triple. Lauren Barrett Hamilton with jump number 4. Annalyn Rudd 10.69, and that previous Juliet McKinley 10.53. So they haven't advanced further up the board, maintained their spot.
And Lauren had a good day out in the 100 hurdles earlier in the weekend, picking up the bronze medal. It was a very close, tight finish for that bronze. But look at Laura Langley. She's been moving well in the Wellington sunshine this morning. She'll be feeling very, very tired. It's often difficult to tell exactly how hard these walkers are working. But you try jumping on a treadmill and putting it on about 14k an hour and just walking, and you won't be lasting long,
I'll be against
if at all.
The wall of the opposite end of the gym.
It's absolutely incredible. I've done a few little tests to see how long I can, how fast I can do a kilometre just on a treadmill walking, and I'm well off the pace of Laura Langley. It's safe to say. I'm only just in double figures in terms of K's per hour. All right, we just saw Jonah Kropp get the bell at 42.06. So 1 lap to go. It looks like he's going to post a massive PB. That will be 43 something. But he just needs to make sure he pays attention to good technique over this last 400 and doesn't find himself with any penalties. I'm not sure what the standing is at the moment, but the fact that he's still out there is a good sign. Trying to get a World Junior qualifier, is that right?
Yeah, World Under 20 qualifying time. He can't be far off it if he's close to his personal best at the moment. I was just actually looking for that time, which we've got a list of various
yeah, 43.45. Okay, so there we go. So
and he's
this
just
is exciting.
43 minutes now, so he's got 45 seconds to get home as he comes down the side.
Lisa Lockman from Otago sitting in 7th place, 10.42. One of 4 women in the 10.40s. Here he comes. A little smile on his face as he enters the home straight. Checks the watch. Checks, am I going to make it to World Juniors? Closes the eyes and just focuses on what he's doing. So the time that he needs to beat again is 43.45. He needs to cross that line
10 seconds
to
left.
book his place at the World Juniors. Here we go.
He's got it.
43.45 is the time he needs
And he
to
has.
do. Yes, boy.
Oh, yeah.
You can see what that means. Well paced.
Irish jig for St. Patrick's Day at the end for Jonah Kropp. What a wonderful performance to get under that performance standard. The World Under 20s later this year in Lima, Peru.
We don't often see a lot of emotion in the race walks, but it was great to see how much that means, because it's a lot of miles through the legs to get to that sort of fitness. And you can see the legs are pretty sore as we see Lucas Martin rolling around. He's just seen his mate Jonah book his ticket, and we're being told that is a New Zealand under 20 record as well. So
phenomenal.
Well done, Jonah Kropp, and what a way to start the action this morning. The final day of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Fields Champs. We've already seen a national record, and here she comes, 1 lap to go. The senior women's leader, Laura Langley. Brilliant walking from Laura, her personal best, 46.35. She's got just under 2 minutes to do it, so that's going to be close. She's on a walking pace of around 148 per lap, so that's going to be very close to see if she can tick off that personal best. But she's determined. She's still full of energy, full of life. Really love the intensity that she brings to her race walking.
The nation's best walkers making full use of perfect conditions this morning here at Newtown Park in Wellington on the final day of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships.
Max Atwell sitting in 10th place. He needs a big one here to carry on in the competition. He'll need to go past Quinn Motley, who has 39.93. I reckon that could be pretty close. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, we've seen some movement in this triple jump competition. Zara Rattray, she's sitting in 5th with a 10.47 PB. But we saw Lisa Lockman, the Otago athlete, a few minutes ago, rise from 7th or 6th. She's now in the bronze medal position with 10.74, so big move from her. Now 100 metres to go for this young lady, Laura Langley, the senior women's leader in the 10,000 metre race walk. She's won many titles on the track and on the roads, and here she comes. She wants a big confidence booster before heading overseas next month, and this will do it. It looks like it'll be a personal best. Her personal best is 46.35. She's going to cross in 46.34. Unofficially. Look at this, straight into a run. Oh, look. And she recognises what that means for Jonah Kropp. Her teammate runs straight over to say, well done. Look at that. Great scenes. This is the camaraderie of these athletes. They train a lot together. There's a great race walking community. Laura has absolutely laid it all out there, and she's so stoked as well for Jonah Kropp.
Here's Nathaniel Salupo, currently lying 2nd in the discus competition.
And we're in round 3 of that discus competition. Look at Jonah, he's still amping, cheering everyone along. Best day of his life in the race walks. New Zealand record and punching the ticket. Well, waiting for selection. He's certainly put his hands up in bright lights to the selectors for the World Juniors. Great to see.
Quinn Motley out of Canterbury throwing there. He's in 9th, looking to break through into that top 8. Can tell you Nathaniel Salupo hasn't improved further with that last throw of 46.66, but remains 2nd behind Connor Bell, 49.36 his 2nd throw.
Annika Nelson. And here is Connor Bell. This is the 3rd round throw. And 57.68, 57.48. So he wants something starting with a 6. At least. Here we are, Connor Bell. Track pants on. Skies that one, and I don't think that will improve. He just walks out the front of the circle. That one seemed to just go up and hang in the air and really had the face of the discus facing forward and encountering some air resistance mid-flight.
Hayden, we saw him at the Pots pull out a late 64.78, and remarkably that's the lowest winning distance for him this season. He's been really good across in Australia with a couple, so it's been remarkably consistent, basically between roughly under his national record to 64.78. Whether he can pull that out today, possibly not the perfect conditions, a little bit too early as well. He's got some big meets coming up, and he is coming off a hard training block.
Toby O'Rourke here in the 10,000 metres. Now, have we seen Lucas Martin finish?
Toby O'Rourke, proud tradition walker from Taranaki.
So Toby O'Rourke finishes in 2nd, so we didn't see Lucas Martin. So Lucas Martin has claimed the national title. Toby O'Rourke, his body is ruined. He really pushed that one to the limit. Finishes in under 50 minutes. Goes over to congratulate Jonah, and He needs a lie down.
Pretty tight community. Annika Nelson now with 1 lap left to go on her journey.
So we're coming up to the end of round 3 in that senior men's discus. And this is the end of round 5. So this was a foul in the end. But we've had some lead changes, some key lead changes. So Lauren Barrett-Hamilton still maintains the lead with 11.13. But Zara Rattray is only 2 centimetres behind now with an 11.11 in round 5. And Annalyn Rudd is now in 3rd place, 10.92. So we enter the final round with the medal positions being held by Barrett-Hamilton, Rattray and Rudd.
One of the tightest competitions of the weekend is that over in the back straight there as we get back to the discus, and Kieran Fowler, who's lying 3rd at the moment with a first round throw of 47 and 71. That one won't improve that.
And Annika Nelson now will come around the bend and see the finish line. I believe this is her debut on the track in the 10,000 metres. Personal best on the 10k road of 51.48.
She's going to be under that. She got an opportunity to get under that on the track today, which I'd imagine will represent a good effort for her.
So here she comes. She finishes in 2nd place in the senior women's. She'll pick up a silver medal for her troubles and get very close to her personal best in the 10k.
I'm going to say she's done it by 2 seconds. Give or take a few hundreds.
So great to see these race walkers really laying it all out. It is absolutely grueling. And this is the final round for our triple jumpers. Sarah Watha has moved herself up into 7th place. Jessica Lathwood, who didn't see in her final round, she's finished in 8th with a 10.15. So the under 18s in the triple jump, as we see the final stages of Alexander Brown's day. He's in the senior men's in the silver medal position in the 10,000 metres. And this discus is in just finishing off round 3. So we've got to drop 4 athletes out of this competition. So it looks like in that discus competition, Chris Knight, Corin Hanning, Joden Pratton and Quinn Motley will not make that cut for the final 8. Max Atwell was right on that bubble and will make the cut. All right, back to Ella Waldron, sitting in 6th place with a 10.45. She needs to get 10.93 or more to get into the medals.
Corin Hanning, F13 para-athlete, has just set a New Zealand para-athlete record. The 2 kg discus, 37.17 metres, previous record 35.22.
So we've just been told over the loudspeaker that Corin Hanning, the F13 athlete, competing in that men's discus competition, has posted a new New Zealand F13 discus record with a 2 kg discus of 37.17. So well done, Corin.
Remarkable, and competing in 2 events at the same time this morning. He's in the para shot as well.
Why not?
Fantastic. Right next door to each other today as we get back to the long jump pit, and Zara Rattray, who leapt into 2nd with 11.11 in the previous, can tell you Ella Waldron, she finished with a 10.01, so 10.45 her best round 3. Ella will finish 6th. Red flag there for Zara, unfortunately, so she is unable to challenge Lauren Barrett Hamilton, but she'll finish 2 centimetres behind at this stage. Lauren obviously with another jump to go. Annalyn Rudd, Juliet McKinlay still to jump to. Juliet will be the next on the runway, looking to snatch gold.
So Alana Matthews, she's in the under 20 10,000 metres, the sole competitor in that competition, and I think this might be the end of her race now. Just seeing 0 on the board. I think she might have got the signal 2 laps to go. So 2 laps to go.
Plenty to look at for her though as she works around, and soon she'll be heading down towards the triple jump, and we've just had Juliet McKinlay into the pit. And
so the long jump winner, she's sitting in 5th place. She needs a big one at the end. She's got that 10:58, but she's seen Annalyn Rudd and Zara Rattray extend their positions.
10:74 for Juliet.
So we'll see if we can stay on these final stages of this triple jump.
So Annalyn Rudd, the last that can challenge Lauren Barrett Hamilton for the title. She's on the runway. .10.92 her best to date. She needs 11.14. In fact, 11.13 would be good enough on countback.
Annalyn Rudd, this is the moment. Can she pull out the jump of her life to get into the gold medal position, or will it stay bronze? Annalyn Rudd gets the white flag. First job done. Body language doesn't tell us too much.
Wouldn't suggest victory, but it did look a clean enough jump, so see if she can improve on that 10.92.
Wow. We've just been told 11 metres 33. There we go, Annalyn Rudd. That surges her to the lead right when she needed it. She pulls it out. Now the body language clicks in. She is hopping up and down just off camera, and I wonder if we can go back to the coverage of that triple jump with Alana Matthews with still 600 metres to go. So here we go. Lauren Barrett Hamilton, she was in the lead. She's just seen Annalyn Rudd go past her. She's got 11.13. She needs to hit 11.34 or more.
She's got a white flag, so it will be measured.
So a replay of that nice rhythm. And
this looks like a good jump from Lauren, so whether it's 11 better than 11.33, we'll see.
It was Lauren's best of the competition.
And she has jumped her best, 11.25. She's come up 8 centimetres short there, Hayden, so she did respond, but unfortunately she hasn't been able to pull it back. And Annalyn Rudd, a local victory from Wellington in the triple jump. Women's under 18, 11.33 her final jump. Lauren Barrett Hamilton of Auckland, 11.25, her best last as well. And Zara Rattray into third with that 5th round jump of 11.11. Once again, the pit providing some great action and providing a local winner.
Great drama. So well done, Annalyn Rudd. And this is the great thing of these competitions. It really forces these athletes to dig within themselves and find that little bit extra, lean on their training, lean on that fitness that they've been building up through the winter months, and focus everything on pulling out lifetime best right when it counts. So fantastic work, Annalyn Rudd, moving into the lead with a personal best to take the under 18s women's triple jump.
Max Abbott of Wellington has had 4 throws now in the men's discus. The last 2 have been fouls. 41 and 73 has him 6th for now.
So the only, just looking through the medals that we need to hand out, the only under 18 medals remaining in the women's is the women's under 18 high jump, and of course the 4x400s to come later today. So the under 18s starting to wind up their weekend. But plenty more medals to be handed out in the under-20s and and the senior men, senior women.
Women pole vault under 20. Going to have first use of the pole vault mat this morning. And the men's pole vault, looking forward to later with James Stain and Nick Southgate, our two leading jumpers, going head-to-head. That's been brought forward an hour. That's going to start at 12:30 this afternoon.
And here she is, coming up to get the bell now, is Alana Matthews. She is going to finish a couple of minutes beyond 60 minutes. So going along around about 12.
And the finished walkers have hung around by the start-finish line, offering her assistance over the last lap.
And now we move into the seated portion of the para shot.
Next to throw is Hugh McLeod-Jones. Is so far 44.5.
All right, update on the men's discus. So we're into round 4. We've culled the field down to the top 8. And here is Hugh McLeod-Jones sitting in 4th place with the best of 44.57. He's adding a metre every throw so far in the first 3 rounds. Does this one carry on that trend? We've got the women's under-18 high jump that I spoke about. The last of the field events to be handed out in the women's under-18 category. As we see great scenes of Alana Matthews on her final lap. 200 metres to walk. Rory Poff throwing the shot. There, the Canterbury athlete. And here comes Alana Matthews now. Sunny's on. Work almost done for the day. 100 metres left to walk. Kieran Fowler. Now he's sitting in that 3rd position, bronze, but it's very close. Let's talk about these distances. As we see Alana Matthews finishing up her day in the office. So Salupo is in the silver medal position, 49.36. Kieran Fowler, 47.71. He's in bronze. Hugh McLeod-Jones, 44.57. Jared Neighbours, 43.91. So that's the sort of athletes who are sitting in those mid-40s. So Alana Matthews, all done and dusted. She'll take out the under-20 10,000 metre gold.
Kieran Fowler's latest a foul. So Nathaniel Salupo about to step back into the cage. And 49.36, his second round throw has him second behind Connor Bell. Nathaniel finished 4th in the senior men's shot behind our big 3 of New Zealand shot putting yesterday.
So Nathaniel, best this year of 50.79, so he'd love to get over that 50 metre marker.
Outside the arc.
Oh, well, it got over the marker, literally got over the marker,
yeah.
But outside the sector.
Distance pretty good, accuracy not quite so. High jump competition to get underway, and we'll have doing the warm-ups at the moment, and 10:15 that is due to start. Here comes Connor Bell into the discus circle. We'll have Sarah Carly Ross here soon as well. She lives and breathes the high jump, and the senior women's high jump will be a highlight later. That's a really good competition at 1 o'clock. Here comes Connor with round number 4.
All right, Connor Bell hasn't been able to make things fully click today. I mean, he's already out into a commanding lead, but by his standards he'll be wanting a little bit more. Let's see if he's got it in round 4. Oh yeah, I think that might be an improvement. Definitely out towards 60 metres. He's still not showing a lot of satisfaction with what he's doing so far.
It's the high standards that he has set himself as a young man, and obviously he's been really consistent throughout this year, but a different competition today where he doesn't have a competitor like Matt Denny to push him very early in the morning too, and quite light winds, which he was saying, yeah, really like it a bit windier, and a couple of meetings in the States are going to provide him with that and an opportunity to throw big. But we did see him pull out his best in the last round at the Pots, and that was close to 65 metres, so let's hope he can pull out something in the last couple of rounds now.
Max Atwell, so he's sitting in 8th place, 40.86. Multi-eventer taking it to the throwers today, and that looked to me to be out beyond 40.
I think a PB for him already, Max. I'll see if I can confirm that, but he'd be pretty happy with his efforts so far.
So still to come in the field is this women's under 18 high jump. We've got the men's under 20 shot put coming up at 10:30, and one of the big events this morning, the women's hammer throw. We'll get to see Lauren Bruce in action and see if anyone can go with her.
We've got used to seeing competition in the women's hammer with obviously Julia Ratcliffe and Nicole Bradley pushing Lauren Bruce, but the retirement of Julia and Nicole has left Lauren out on her own. She's Melbourne based these days. Saw her here at the championships yesterday, gets to compete today, and let's hope she can push that 70 metres. The men couldn't quite get there, the two Anthonys on Friday, although they weren't far off, put on a pretty good show.
We'll also get to see Will Steadman in the long jump, 5.73 his best, and he's been in good form lately as well. So in the para long jump, and then of course the men's pole vault coming up at 12:30. That senior men's battle between Nick Southgate and James Stain. Max Atwell will also find his way over there. 10 competitors lining up in that competition.
You mentioned that men's under 20 shot too. Looking forward to seeing Blessing Sefo there. He's already gone beyond the performance standard for the world under 20s that we've talked about a bit over this weekend.
At the Beijing Olympics, they have the entire Chinese army.
So this is round 5.
We're relying on volunteers, and we're very grateful to you for your help.
Max Abbott has just had Trent Hogg go past him with a 41.89, and Max Atwell's 41.35 was an improvement, but not an improvement in his standings. And these women just getting warmed up in the high jump, as we see Jared Neighbours in 5th place, 43.91. So a little break on the track as we see the rattle of the high hurdles coming out onto the home straight, and they're being set up very high indeed, as we see officials setting them up. It's always remarkable how high those senior men's high hurdles are, and we've got 9 athletes lining up over 2 heats. So unfortunately we're only working out how to drop one of those athletes out of the final.
In a discipline, Hayden, where it's very hard to kind of take it easy, because if you miss your stride, you clatter a hurdle, and you do not want to be doing that.
Through.
No, exactly. So you can't just ease down to a walk in the hurdles. You can after the last flight, but you're only about 10 metres from the line then. But we are going to get to see Josh Hawkins, which will be a real treat. He's in heat number 1 of 2 at 10:20, so we don't have to wait long for that, and he'll be all going well, lining up in the final at 20-2 this afternoon. He is the national record holder multiple times, and the national record holder for that, a record that he rebroke several years after setting it, the same venue in Queensland. He does hurdle well here. Capital Classic, really awkward conditions, and he actually said it wasn't too bad. It was howling wind and rain, but he still managed to reset his own meet record there at the beginning of February here in the Capital Classic at Newtown Park.
All right, Salupo in round 5. He's sitting in that silver medal position. Well, he was. We just had a result come through from Kieran Fowler, 49.64. That moves him just ahead of this man, Nathaniel Salupo. So last minute changes to these medal positions in round 5. Let's see if Salupo can respond. We saw the discus fly over that 50-metre mark, but it was outside the sector. Can he keep it in this time and get it out to that similar distance? This is a long way over the other side of the sector, but I don't think that's going to be an improvement.
Almost an overcorrection there from Nathaniel. So he'll have one throw left to see if he can reclaim that silver off Kieran, as we get to see Connor Bell with his 5th throw. That previous was 57 and 83, so Connor actually did improve what he's done so far. He's been consistent in the mid to high 57s, but he will be looking for further in his last 2 digs.
And let's have a look at this technique. One of the things I love about Connor Bell is his balance across the circle. It's almost like a ballerina or an ice skater in the way that these discus throwers are able to keep their arm long, because you want that arm as long as possible. But as those forces increase on the discus, you need to make sure your torso, your upper body, is staying nice and balanced and composed. That one goes sky high again, and again around that kind of 57, 56 mark. So things just not clicking as he would like. He's almost guaranteed the gold medal at this stage with only 1 round to go.
So we've seen the warm-up for the high jump, the women's under 18, and we saw some outstanding age group jumping yesterday here on the apron, and we also saw Adam Stack take out the senior men's and up to 2 metres 10 now. Adam?
So we've got Lisa Lockman, Ava Vigasma, Tiana Vai Perez, Taylor Tro, Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey, Lauren Barrett-Hamilton, Hannah Hickson, Maddie Frodsham and Molly O'Reilly. So a lot of the same names that we've seen featured across other events, and it'll be interesting to see how the legs are feeling after a big weekend for these ladies, competing across those other events, and some of them moving up into the under-20s. And we will have to keep close tabs with how this goes. Nice conditions down there. They'll feel reasonably warm in the sunshine, not too much breeze blowing. So by Wellington standards, we're pretty good right now.
Damn right we are. Yes, indeed. We're lucky that southerly storm had hit during one of the performances of the weekend. James Preston's 800 metres, second fastest of all time, but outside of that, pretty good conditions for this time of the year here in the capital. Max Abbott with his 6th and final. Max Abbott will finish with a foul. He'll finish in 8th, 41 and 35.
All right, 5 more throws to come in the senior men's discus competition at the 2024 Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Champs. A few of these athletes are done and dusted.
Got the perfect viewing position there over the high jump, high up on that bank. It's an interesting bank. It's too steep to sit on. You've got a little ledge at the top. Other than that, you have to line up at the fence. And if you don't quite get that right at the top, you're going to end up at the fence very quickly.
All right, Jared Neighbours sitting in 4th place. Can he move himself up into the medals? He needs 49.37 to move past Nathaniel Sulupo. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
It doesn't look far enough, but he did have his best throw of the competition in the previous 47 and 22, so he certainly put himself within sniffing distance. We'll see what that comes up at, but it does look similar and certainly not out as far as the 49 that he needs, 45 and 93.
So if you have just tuned into the coverage and you're hoping to catch the race walks, well, they've all done and dusted. What I can tell you is Laura Langley took out the title for the senior women's, and Lucas Martin in the senior men's. But the big highlight really was Jonah Kropp winning the under-20s in a new under-20 New Zealand record, breaking Tony Sargison's 10,000 metre race walk record, and at the same time punching a qualifying mark to the World Juniors later in the year. Now, there we go. Hugh McLeod-Jones gets the red flag. So he will finish in 5th place with a best of 44.57. Now we go to Kieran Fowler, who's sitting in 2nd. Then we've got Nathaniel Sulupo and Connor Bell to finish up. Final 3 throws in the senior men's discus.
Just quickly on Jonah Kropp, I've got him lined up for a podcast, Chew the Fat, that I do with Olympian Tony Rogers, who's the General Manager of Athletics New Zealand's had an enormous week in preparation for this, as we see the throw of Kieran Fowler out towards that 50-metre mark, but a red flag, so a foul to finish there. But looking forward to talking to Jonah on Chew the Fat and just try and get inside the head, the psyche of an under 20-year-old Hayden that wants to do 10 kilometres round a track and a walk, because I've got no doubt he could probably do some other disciplines really well, but he's chosen the walk.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we saw Quentin Roux, who's retired now, but he started life as a really quality middle distance runner and then moved into the race walks. Now here we go, Nathaniel Sulupo. He's sitting in bronze medal position. Can he make that a silver? He's got a 49.36. He'll need 49.65 or more. I don't think that's going to be enough.
Fallen short.
Claps to the crowd.
Yep.
Says thank you. We'll take the bronze medal. And now, the conclusion of the senior men's discus competition. Connor Bell has the victory. He has another national title, and he's won a few of these, boy. At such a young age, he has, I think this will be number 5. I'm just going to confirm that as we go. So he won in 2023, won in 22, 21. So this will be number 4. This will be number 4. Before that, it was Alexander Parkinson and then Marshall Hall. Here we go, Connor Bell. Final throw at the New Zealand Track and Field Champs. This one stays in, but it is somewhere midway between the 50 and 60, and he hangs his head low, just being a bit frustrated today. But nevertheless, it's another national title. Makes it 4 in a row for Connor Bell, our lead discus thrower, and we wait in anticipation for what's to come from this young man who's full of promise in Olympic year.
And worth pointing out his age, he's 22 years old, as we look to people like Ian Winchester, Robin Tate, Les Mills, that people will have heard of, names that he has already surpassed, and they were setting their personal bests well beyond Connor Bell's age of 22, and Connor Bell already with the best of all time, 66 and 23, ahead of those great names. And Marshall Hall, we heard mentioned there too, he's actually number 3 of all time. As we get to the high jump,
Maddie Frodsham. So Maddie Frodsham, a miss early on, but I can tell you at 1:46 on the bar, we've got Lauren Barrett-Hamilton, Claire Taylor-Tro, Lisa Lockman, Ava Vigasma, and Hannah Hickson. They are all clear over 1:46 on their first attempts.
Busy morning for Lauren, skipping across from the triple jump pit where she finished second, grabbed a silver behind Annalyn Rudd. There's Josh Hawkins, first view of our national record holder in the 110 metre hurdles. He's going to be in heat number 1. 2 heats, but as Hayden explained earlier, we only need to drop 1 for this afternoon's final that's set down for 20 minutes to 2.
So I can tell you Maddie Frodsham was clear in her second attempt, the Manawatu Wanganui athlete, at 1:46. So very early stages in that under 18 high jump competition. And there you can see Jared Neighbours finding his spot.
110 hurdles, first heat of 2.
And over at the women's pole vault, we're underway there as well, where Eden Grundy cleared 291 at her second attempt. Maya Grundy's coming at 311 and had 1 miss. We're waiting for Elaine Zai to come into the competition. Elaine finished 3rd yesterday in the senior women's competition behind Eliza McCartney and Imogen Eris.
So the field for this first heat, we've got Todd Bradshaw there wearing number 577. Next to him is the New Zealand record holder, Josh Hawkins. He's won this title many times, now just eyeing up what he needs to do. That looked like run fast. And Kieran Sinclair Lomax, he's running in the middle of the track, wearing number 403 in the Canterbury colours. Tom Maloney, there, our Auckland athlete, the 23-year-old. Jared Neighbours next to him, the multi-eventer, well-performed decathlete, Jared Neighbours on the outside. So remember, we basically just need to drop 1 athlete from a field of 9 before we go to the finals later today. This title last year was taken out by Josh Hawkins, of course. Masaka Tamuka in second, Max Atwell in third, and we're away. Look at Josh Hawkins.
Ooh, hit the first one.
To a slightly rocky start, but now getting into his rhythm. Tom Maloney inside of him also looking pretty good from Auckland. So Josh Hawkins clean over by the end, but a bit of a shaky start to begin with. Tom Maloney in second place.
Might have been a little bit of a wake-up call there for Josh Hawkins, clipping that first hurdle. Comfortable after that. His New Zealand record currently 13:67 that he reset last year. His New Zealand resident record 13:93 could be under threat this afternoon in the final if the conditions stay good. His meet record at the Capital Classic recently was 14:01. In really ordinary conditions, he's just cruised to a 14:43 despite that early clip and cruising down the last 10-15 metres.
Now it looks like Tom Maloney and Todd Bradshaw may have posted personal best, 15:35 for Tom and Todd 15:99. Now Jared Neighbours finishes in 4th, and this is important because Kieran Sinclair Lomax at 16:87. He is the man sitting right outside that bubble at the moment, and that's the time that we'll need to beat because it's the top 3 advance automatically and then the next 2 fastest times. Now, have we got all 4 athletes? We do. Okay.
Josh Hawkins on the way to defending title in 14.43.
So second heat of the 110 hurdles now, just getting their blocks set up, going through their start routine. So it'll be a couple of minutes before the start of that. And this is the boys we can expect to be out there. Cameron Moffat, Masaka Tamuka, silver medalist from last year, Toby Martin and Jack Henry So Toby Martin, 16:48 or 16:11 personal best. He will need to be right on that sort of time to make sure he takes down Kieran Sinclair. Lomax's 16:87.
Silver medalist last year. He's starting in lane 4. Toby Martin of Otago is in lane lane 5. And Jack Henry, well known to Catholic, he's from Canterbury and he'll be in lane 6 near to the stand.
Hurdles being reset. 1 or 2 getting clipped in heat number 1. And second heat here, due to go at 10:27, about 2 minutes away from start time here before we launch into a series of 200-metre heats. Women under 20, men's under 20, and women's senior, and 3 heats of the men's senior competition as well to come. Jack Henry, experienced hurdler, in lane number 6 here. This time 14:71, said a wee while ago. Masaki Temuka, man will be watching here. As Hayden said, silver medal last year behind Josh Hawkins. Comes into this with the quickest time of the 4. 2 Otago athletes, Cameron Moffat in lane 3 and Toby Martin in lane number 5.
Now on their marks for heat 2 of the men's 110 hurdles.
So a reminder, you just need to finish in the top 3 or make sure you're faster than 16:87. So Cameron Moffat, Masaka Temuka, Toby Martin, Jack Henry. 2 Canterbury athletes, 2 Otago athletes, and they leap together, but Cameron Moffat's starting to just lose contact with Masaka Temuka, and Jack Henry. Now a bit of a battle for the Otago athletes as they dip across the line. It's going to be very close for them, and so the 2 Canterbury boys are safe. Temuka nice and clean at the front.
Clip of the last from Toby Martin was not helpful.
All right, so we will come back shortly and confirm those who qualified. Now we'll cross to Sarah Cowley-Ross, who has Connor Bell with her.
Well, I have Connor Bell with me. 4th national title, Connor, 57.83 today. Not the distance you were after. How are you feeling?
A little disappointed. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. It's a bit of sugar honey iced tea from me today. Yeah, like, I'm just didn't feel it today. Didn't have it in me. We're not peaking for this event. I've got a month in the US. That being said, yeah, 57 still a bit down on where I hoped I'd be today. Yeah, can rationalise it to, you know, the ends of the earth, but it was just not good enough. And we'll learn some stuff and not repeat it.
You have high expectations of yourself, Connor, and that's what's helped you so far in your career so much. You know, I want to talk about this season, though, because you have had some brilliant victories. Adelaide Invitational, Maury Plant setting a new personal best, 66.23. You must be happy with some of those performances, though.
Yeah, some of the performances I had in the domestic season were really confidence boosting. Over bar 1 over 65 every meet this season, or 2 now, but yeah, I think we made some good decisions and did some good things earlier in the season. So yeah, it's just about figuring out what led to those and making sure we keep doing more of that and less of this.
Hey, well, you're off next week to the States. You've got 5 competitions over there. Can you tell us which ones you're competing at next, so we can all keep an eye on you? Because I know you've got a great fan base out there.
I do, and really, if you're up and watching today, I appreciate you guys making the live stream. Sorry I didn't throw as far as, I actually think probably everyone was hoping I'd throw. But as far as my next competitions, I've got 3 in California and 2 in central USA, in Ramona, which is in Oklahoma. So it'll be good between actually, I leave on Monday and I get back on the 18th of April, so between then, it'll be comp time.
So, California dreaming for Connor Bell. Now, I've asked a few other of our top athletes, that were at World Championships last year. You got 10th there in Budapest, outstanding result in the final there. But croissant or pain au chocolat?
Oh, pain au chocolat, yeah.
I saw the glint in your eye there. Okay, Eiffel Tower or Mona Lisa?
Eiffel Tower.
Favourite French athlete, Renaud Lavallini or Kevin Mayer?
Oh, Kevin.
Okay, and frog's legs or snails?
Snails.
Oh, definitive on the snails.
I actually haven't tried frog legs, so I don't know, but I've done the little snail things. Yeah.
Loves it. Okay, well, Connor Bell, not the distance day we wanted, but another national title, 4 in fact in the bag. We wish you all the best over the next few months, particularly on your USA tour. We know better things are coming for you, but have a great trip over there.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Back to you guys upstairs, and actually pull in over here, Corin Hanning. Come over here, Corin, come on. Right, well, this man here has actually set a new New Zealand F13 national record today, throwing 37.17. But Corin, you're not too happy about it, are you?
Yeah, it's a bit of a false one. Recently I went over to Melbourne to get my international classification, which is an essential thing if you're going for para-athletics. And I got reclassified, which was a bit of a shocking, expensive trip, but it's just what it is. So when I throw these new records, it's a bit of a little false one, because I'm still 4 meters down on what I've been doing, and it's a little bit, hollow. But it's just what it is.
Well, no one can take away from you that you've got a national record this morning. You've extended it by 2 metres. I know you're disappointed, but can you explain to us, how often do para-athletes have to get reclassified? Because actually Hayden Sherman has been looking this morning, over the last few days, and thinking, I think he was a different categorisation. So you've answered our questions, which is great, but explain to us the process.
So when you're a para-athlete, you have to go... There's different levels of classification, so everyone starts off at a regional level, which is like just to compete in your local club days and stuff. Then you go and get a national classification, which is basically just so you can compete in nats and stuff and get national records and things. And then after that, when you want to go and compete at Paralympics, World Champs or such, you have to go and get a international one. And you go over, it varies for different classifications, but for me, I go over and do a vision test because I'm legally blind. But what they don't account for with my, disability is I've got albinism, which it drastically shifts my eyesight depending if I'm outside or inside, because I'm light sensitive. So if I'm outside, I'm basically blind, but if I'm inside, I've got a lot more acuity in my one good eye, my left eye, which is a little bit silly considering they tested me inside and I don't compete inside. So. And they were all sorry about it when I went for my tests, but it's just what it is. They don't equate for albinos at the moment, so they might change it, but at the moment they don't have it, so it's just how it is.
That's really actually helpful for us and for our viewers to understand the reclassification and some of the, I guess, metrics around your particular classification. Corin, what's next for you competition-wise this season?
With that classification and being reclassified, it's kind of really stunted my pathway potential, so it was pretty, it wasn't exactly a very thrilling trip over there. So I'm kind of just back to uni, back reading stuff, so really exciting for my rest of my year, but I'll be back next season.
You will be back, Corin, and I know that you'll break more national records in this new classification, and once you get your head around it and adapt to this new level, I guess that we'll look forward to seeing many more records from you.
Yeah, hopefully a bit better than my performances today.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. So Corin Hanning, he's the new national record holder in the F13 categorisation. Not his best day distance-wise, he informs me, but a national record, no one can take it away from him. So, back to you guys upstairs.
Yeah, great to get that clarification on the classifications for Corin, and it can be a frustrating process for those para-athletes. It is, you imagine if you suddenly realise you're competing in a different division, it certainly can be upsetting. Now, we have some clarification on those 110 hurdles results, and I can tell you Kieran Sinclair Lomax unfortunately will have to miss the final, Jared Neighbours being the last of our non-automatic qualifiers getting through, and he's got a busy old day just looking through. Not only did he do the shot put earlier in the weekend, as we see those results, so Jared Neighbours just sneaking in, but looking through what he's still got to do today, he's got the javelin coming up, he's got the done the discus, he's got the men's pole vault and the 110 hurdle final. So that's a busy old weekend, but he's used to it, these multi-eventers. So looking forward to those 110 hurdle finals. Now the men will go off at 1:40, but basically from 1 o'clock we'll be live with the finals of those high hurdles events.
And 1:20 for the senior women. Really looking forward to seeing Brianna Stevenson, who beat a couple of good Australians here during the domestic season. And she, of course, was in the long jump pit yesterday. Relatively new to the 100 hurdles, Brianna, but doing a really good job. 200 metres now, Hayden, and some pretty serious races coming up here with the women's under 20, the likes of Marielle Venida, Adira Collette, hopefully still in the fields. The men's under 20, we're going to see the likes of AJ Madondo and Caden Taylor. And amongst the senior women, Rosie Elliott, Portia Bing, Georgia Hulls, and Danielle Atchison, world record holder, T36, 100 metres set earlier in this weekend. And obviously the senior men's 200 as well, which has the likes of Tommy Tapuni, Cody Wilson, Joe Dolphin, Angus Livren. Hopefully Lex Rebel-Lewis, he's down in the list. Hayden, no, yesterday he sounded like he was pretty tired after the 400 and all he wanted to do was sleep. So be interested to see if he turns out.
Yeah, we'll see how much recovery he got, or whether he went along to the homegrown festival last night and just celebrated his results. Yeah, Wellington was a hive of activity last night with the festival down at the waterfront. Lots of other events going on around the place. Now, this high jump competition where the bar is at 156. We just saw Lauren Barrett Hamilton, after her silver medal in the triple jump, have 3 misses at 156, and that means we now have 6 athletes left as we go up to 161. So they are Lisa Lockman, Taylor Troe, Ava Weigersma. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if that's a Weigersma or a Weigersma. Never know sometimes with these Eastern European sounding names. Anyway, Hannah Hickson is in there, Tiana Vai Perez and Jodie McCarthy Dempsey. So a lot of those names that we've seen throughout the competition over the various jumps. Jodie, of course, picking up the long jump silver medal. But the bar now at 161.
Just noticing here too that first heat of this women's under 20, Marielle Venida, the 100 metres winner, is listed as a non-starter.
Right. So that's a shame. So she would have been there in lane 6, I imagine. Yeah. So the under 20 women getting ready to go. With no Marielle Venida. That opens the door a little bit to some of these other women. Oh, a brilliant clearance at 161 for Perez. She's got a nice clean sheet at the moment with a first time clearance at 156 and 161. Okay, 200 metres, 2 heats to come. Top 3 fastest, top 3 go through, and then the next 2 fastest. So Samantha Lethwood, Anna Mansurova, Kate Borton, Michaela Fitty, Vanita is a non-starter, Erica Lucas, and Neve Townsend.
And I'm just putting my eyes on the starters for the second heat, and Adira Collette is there. She was second in the 100 metres, and Emily Fairclough is as well after winning the 400 yesterday. So pretty competitive second heat coming up. Like you say, Hayden, with Marielle not running in this first heat, it does open up this competition.
I love that celebration there from Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey. Already picking up at least a medal this weekend in the long jump. And now, eyes on Kate Borton. She picked up the silver medal behind Emily Fairclough. So Kate Borton running in lane 4, wearing number 129. But here we go, you can see Erica Lucas wearing the Canterbury colours, but already making up some of that stagger now is Kate Borton. She's in the lead, just next to her, the Manawatu Wanganui woman. Michaela Fitty is taking the lead now. It'll be those two over the line first, and just on the outside, Erica Lucas picks up the third auto position. So good strength there from Michaela Fitty to come through on the home straight and just go past Kate Borton for the win.
25.67 her time.
Time was 25.77.
25.75 from Kate Borton in second.
Top 3 in each heat plus the next 2 guest times will qualify.
Erica Lucas 26.02. They're the automatic qualifiers. And Neve Townsend is 26.33. It's a personal best, and she'll be hoping it's good enough to get her through as one of the 2 next best times. Pretty strong second heat coming up.
Right now, the senior women's triple jump. This is a key event this morning. We're already into the third round. My goodness, we're flying through this. Just a smaller field with 7 athletes. So Maxine Chappell, Rebecca Peterson, Alessandra McDonald, Lara Hockley, who we see on screen. Anna Thompson, who has won 4 of these on the trot. 3 of them on the trot. I'm trying to read my own handwriting. And Hannah Collins, the youngster, and Aaliyah Johnson. So that's your field.
It's a small but select field, isn't it, Anna? You mentioned she's on a roll, but she's 6-time national champion overall. But I saw Hannah win the New Zealand Secondary Schools Championships at Napunawai in Christchurch, setting her personal best of 12.46. She's making some really decent strides. 12.44 recently as well from her. And she's right in the mix early. Anna Thompson is third at the moment, with Elliot Johnson, the current leader.
Right, we're away. Heat 2 of the under-20 women's 200 metres, and early gains coming from Adira Collette on the inside, already making up a lot of that stagger as they come round onto the straight. Number 162, Emily Fairclough, looking nice and strong as well, the 400 metre champion. So it's Fairclough and Collette. They're going to take it out. It's going to be close. I think Wisniewski's going to get that third auto, and Neve Gidja running right next to him, next to her. We'll need to wait and see as these times come through. You can see Adira Collette still with that arm strapped up. So early season, I think she broke her wrist or her hand. And here's Anna Thompson, the reigning champion. She's been so dominant over recent years, with Kayla Goodwin being based in the States. Domestically, she's had a lot of the action her own way, but with the likes of Hannah Collins coming up through the ranks, just nipping at the heels now. So there is Hannah.
Crowd building here on the final day. We've just seen Adira Collette and Emily Faircliffe, two of the leading fancies for the medals this afternoon in the under-20s women 200. Emily won the 400 yesterday. She was outside her World Championship performance standard mark that she is aiming for, but she's not too far away from it. She looks good for the 200 metres as well. We're going to take a break here in the coverage on day number 4. Lots going on here at the field events. We'll reload, back with you in a moment.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
No more hokumai. Welcome back, everyone. The sunscreen's going on. The sun is out. The last of the summer rays bathing Newtown Park. And we're getting into some higher heights in this under-18 women's high jump competition. The bar is at 165. We've got 5 athletes in that competition over at the under-20s pole vault, which is happening at the other end of the ground. We've got 4 athletes left with the bar at 3:46. So clearing successfully at 3:31 are Milana Henderson, Elaine Zai, Via Chaplow and Maya Grundy. So one Hawke's Bay Gisborne athlete in there. Perez is successful at 165, and she's got a clean sheet at the moment, so sitting in a similar position to Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey and Hannah Hickson. And that was Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey, so that will bump her off that lead, because up until that point she had a perfectly clean sheet.
Milana Henderson of Auckland has cleared 3 metres 46 at the pole vault. So we get back to the high jump, 165.
Hannah Hickson, a miss. Right, so that means that out of the 5 athletes who are still in the competition, only Perez has cleared first time at 165. So that puts her in pole position ahead of the others, assuming that the others, we will get some more clearing 165. So she's the only one with the clean sheet now. Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey, Hannah Hickson having their first misses in the competition at 165. And Lisa Lockman, she's been living dangerously. She's had 2 misses at 156, then went clear. 2 misses at 161 and went clear in the 3rd attempt as well there. Now she's on 1 miss at 165. So having to do a lot of jumping is Lisa Lockman who's sitting in 5th place in that under 18 high jump competition. And we have some hammer throws coming. So the senior women's hammer.
Had yesterday an extraordinary competition in the men's under 18, which Ari Kishariat took out from Canterbury, just a 16-year-old, 194. And he was shocking himself every step of the way. And we had a number of athletes throughout that competition who looked like they were going to exit, including Ari, that continued to claw their way back second and often third attempt. And we end up with Ari matching United States athlete Odin Hatcher with 194, and taking the title did Ari. Some great scenes here yesterday afternoon.
Right. Here she goes. Second attempt at 165. Hannah Hickson. Oh, it was a good attempt. Just those legs coming down on the bar on that occasion. So she'll have one more go at that height. And we get a first look at our 200-metre boys. We're going to have 2 heats with the top 3 to go to advance from each heat, and then the next 2 best times.
Caden Taylor to go round in heat number 1. He was victorious in the 100 metre under 20 and a 10.57 over AJ Madondo, who's also down to line up in the second heat of this under 20 200. Caden in that 100 was only 7/100ths of a second outside the performance standard for the World Under 20 Championships.
It's always great, the 200, seeing the matchup of the 400 specialists and the 100 specialists meeting together. Oh yes, there we are. Lisa Lockman, the 3rd attempt for the 3rd time in a row.
Incredible.
That's amazing. So get this. This is her score sheet. At 156, 2 misses, and then a clearance. 161, 2 misses, and a clearance. 165, 2 misses, and a clearance. She's living dangerously. But she carries on into the competition and moves to 2nd. And that's the end of the day for Ava Vergesma. Unfortunately for her. Now this women's triple jump, and we'll try to pay closer attention to this because we're now into round 4. And this is Rebecca Peterson getting ready to go. She's sitting in 6th place at the moment. So the field for this, Aaliyah Johnson is in the lead with the 12.04. Hannah Collins is in 2nd, 12.04, so 12.05 to Aaliyah Johnson. But here we are, Rebecca Peterson in the triple jump. Yes, love that. She's over Jodie McCarthy Dempsey. She moves into 2nd. That bumps Lisa Lockman down into 3rd. Hannah Hickson is the only athlete yet to clear. This will be her final attempt. What can she produce here? She's had a very, very busy weekend. As part of the team that picked up a silver medal in the 4x1. And here we go. The day continues for Hannah Hickson. She's absolutely shocked herself. Oh, that's an exciting feeling.
She came in on the opening height of 146, so she might not have been thinking she was going to jump 165 today, but that's exactly what she's done, and she'll attempt 169 shortly. Right,
the boys, heat 1 of 2 of the 200 metres. Maxwell Stringer is the Waikato Bay of Plenty wearing 767. Next to him, Caden Taylor, that's your national under-20 champion wearing the Auckland colours. Sebastian Ferro next to him. Joe Berman running in lane 6 wearing the Auckland colours. And Zach Ziogas of Wellington. All eyes on Caden Taylor. He's by far and away the quickest in this field. But don't count out Sebastian Ferro for making a good mark on this heat.
He's been running really well, Sebastian. Got 5th in the 100 metre final behind Caden Taylor and AJ Madondo.
So Caden Taylor starting wide in the lane, much like Maxwell Stringer. Here they go. First heat in the under-20s. Boys, 200 metres and up to a good start is Caden Taylor, already making up some of that ground on Sebastian Ferro next to him, and head up, arms driving, has time to look over his shoulder and just see what's happening so he can just step down the gears. He will book his place in the final. Very close for third. I think it was Joe Berman who picked up that third qualifying mark.
He will take that. Maxwell Stringer will have to rely on being one of the next 2 best times. Caden Taylor cruising through his heat in 22.19 here.
So the bar at the under-20 pole vault is now at 3:46. We've got 4 athletes clear. And here is Anna Thompson sitting in 3rd place now with a best of 11.76. She wants to make sure that she can reclaim this title. 3-time national champion, knees up, drive and good rhythm. And this is round 4 again, as we see Lara Hockley. She's sitting in 4th place with 11.69, so not too far off the pace.
Tell you Maxwell Stringer's time for 4th, 23.04, the mark that the second heat will lead to attempt to beat. Sarah Cowley-Ross has joined us in time for the conclusion of the women's under-18 high jump. And of course all the other activity, triple jump of 2, of course one of Sarah's fortes in her multi-event career that took us to the London Olympics in 2012. Able to step out for a well-earned break, and he'll be back for some big action on the track a little later, including Sam Tanner in the 1500 metre final, and the women's 1500 looks to be an absolute cracker. Hopefully Laura Nagel and Rebecca Aitkenhead can turn it on like they did for the mile championship, where they were separated by the width of a singlet. Clearance from Elaine Zai at the pole vault, and Elaine 3rd in the senior women's behind our 2 best performers. We've just had a clearance at the women's high jump, and that was Hannah Hickson at 169. Tianave Perez, the French Polynesian athlete's been all clear so far and cleared 169, and just waiting on the update here, but Hannah Hickson looks to be over now. Underway here in the second heat of the men's under 20, and we've got AJ Madondo here and Kaharangi Cotterill, who are leading contenders here, and Ayan Walange as well. So Madondo's going to come through and win. Walange will take 2nd, Cotterill will take 3rd. They're the automatic qualifiers, and Forbes Kennedy from Manawatu Whanganui will be looking to be one of the next best 2 times, and we'll be able to confirm that pretty quickly, but comfortably through. The men we expected, AJ Madondo, Ayan Walange and Katarangi Kaharangi Cotterell. 22.44 for Madondo. And Forbes Kennedy time will come up at 23.04, which I think was exactly the same as the next fastest in the previous, which means that both of those will go through. We'll confirm that though just as soon as we can. It was Maxwell Stringer earlier, and I think he was 23.04 as well. Should have written it down, didn't. Anyway, welcome to Sarah Cowley-Ross in terms of sitting here at the back of the stand with me this morning, because she has been out and about doing some really good interviews with some athletes who are really hard on themselves.
Oh my goodness. Morena, Mark. Wonderful to be here. Day 4, New Zealand track and field champs, Jennian home New Zealand track and field champs. But wow, I was trying to put a little bit of positivity and just acknowledge their achievement. But this is what makes athletes great in terms of that relentless pursuit of a higher performance. And, you know, that's actually... Connor said to me, I'm disappointed, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I was like, no, you didn't. No. No, you didn't. He was really upset. So, you know, when you are going for something like an Olympic standard or qualifying points and you don't set out to achieve one thing and you don't, there is disappointment. That is obvious. So nothing will take away from the fact that Connor Bell achieved his 4th national title, Kyron Hanning in his new classification, which I actually think it was really interesting to understand that for our viewers, for people that are not familiar with the para classifications and the intricacies of every different class, because it is different. And off camera, Kyron was explaining that to me and I guess some of his frustrations, but also, I guess there's opportunity in the future for those classifiers to look back at his particular situation. And so, yes, you're right. Very tough on themselves,
yes.
But
anyway,
the sun's out.
As you say, both achieved good things in terms of national titles, national record in one standard. And I've got no doubt that Connor Bell, he's just come off a hard block of training. He's heading to the United States. He's going to get some great conditions for discus throwing in Oklahoma, and I'm expecting an Olympic qualifier, and I know he is too, so let's hope that he can. Right, triple jump, high jump going on. You love them both, so I'll let you get into it.
Great. This is Alexandra McDonald. This is round 5 in the women's triple jump. As she comes into the pit, she had a great 400-metre hurdle run earlier in the program. Her best today of 11:45. So just to recap where we're at in the senior women's triple jump, we've got Elia Johnson in first place at the moment, 12:05. Hannah Collins of Canterbury, 12:04. And Anna Thompson, 11:76. So right now, somewhat of a bit of an upset going on if this continues in this way, and the defending champion, Anna Thompson, cannot find a mark on the board, as she's had a number of fouls. This is her local track where she trained, so she'll be well experienced at waiting for the right wind and hoping that that windsock that we see on your screen there. This is Lara Hockley of Taranaki. She's at a best today of 11:69. So we're in the 5th round at the senior women's triple jump. She needs to beat at 11:76 to move up a place. It's a nice jump there by Lara.
And just on Anna Thompson, she's a 6 times national champion. She probably hasn't been at her best this season, but her brother yesterday, Scott, was up against the Olivier brothers and finishing 3rd in behind them. Another successful clearance here at the high jump with Perez just going super. She's been clear right the way through the French Polynesian.
As we see our senior women hammer throwers. This is Lauren Bruce, Olympian, first round. And she can't quite keep her feet inside the circle there.
That's out close to the 70-metre mark, though, which would be a good sign that she's ready for something big today.
She She certainly is, by all indications. So just to give you a bit of recap, because we've got a lot of field events going on right now. At the 100 metre start end of the ground, we've got the final stages of the women's pole vault. That's under 18. The bar is at 3:46, so not really in the final stages.
Yeah, just with that too, Sarah, I haven't seen any updates on this lately, so that's my concern, that this is a frozen situation here. We just saw Elaine pull out of that attempt effectively, and I can see a minute on the clock, but I don't know what the height is, and I just suspect it might have gone higher, but we'll try and confirm that as best we can.
That's why I said the final stages, because I know that those women have been out there for a long time.
They have.
So we've got the senior women's triple jump on the back straight. We've also got the under 18 high jump. This is the triple jumpers on screen right now. This is Hannah Collins of Canterbury. And we've also got the men's under 20 shot put right by the pole vault. So a lot going on, as well as some 200 metre heats.
Yeah, senior women 200 metres coming up in a moment or two, and some outstanding athletes listed in the heats, with Portia Bing and Rosie Elliott in Heat 1, Cameron Smart there too, Anna Grimaldi as well. We see Daniel Aitchison, the T36 new world record holder, 100 metres in Heat number 2, alongside Georgia Hulls, defending champ. Also Brooke Summerfield, who's running really well. So it is about the busiest point of the entire weekend. Here's Heat 1. Portia's just been going super. 11:67 third. In the 100 metres, that was a PB. She won the 400 yesterday. Couldn't match her time from last weekend, but she's just going well on the flat. No hurdles in her way at the moment. She's loving life, Sarah.
She is, and she'll be after a good time here in this 200 metre heat. Just an update, that triple jumper that we just saw on the screen, the Canterbury athlete has gone into the lead.
Wow.
With that fifth round jump, 12:45.
She's 18.
She's 18. That's exciting. So that's a personal best for her,
Wow.
and what our records are showing.
She won the New Zealand secondary schools. I must check that distance. It was around 12:46, I thought. But
this is Elia Johnson. So until that jump by Hannah Collins, she was in the lead with 12:05. So we'll keep you updated on that competition as we see these beautiful shots of Newtown Park. Crowd coming in. It is a beautiful day in Wellington. Day 4 of these National Track and Field Championships. So in the field right now, women's under 20 pole vault, senior women triple jump, women under 18 high jump. We're at the bar's at 172 there.
just 2 left in that competition. Genevieve Perez all clear so far. Hannah Hickson's had a miss at 172. And Jodie McCarthy-Dempsey's exited the competition. 165 though on countback. Looks good enough for third there.
Behind that high jump at the finish line end of the ground, we have the senior women's hammer, and this is Danny Shepherd-Oakes. First round throw of 49.14. This is round 2 in the senior women's hammer. Back to the triple jump. And that's Maxine Chappell of Waitakere City Athletics, taking her 6th and final jump.
Just on Hannah, so I had her down as a 12.46 winner at the New Zealand Secondary School. She's jumped 12.45 there and a season best at 12.44. Whatever the case is, she's right in the 12.40s and she's on the rise. And this pole vault, we're just not getting updates through, but Elaine Zai is on the runway, 3rd yesterday in the senior women's. But I can't see signs of what they're currently at. And we've only seen Elaine lately, so whether she's the only one left in the competition or not, I don't know. I'll try and keep an eye on that, Sarah, while you look at the triple jump on the high.
Great, so this is Rebecca Peterson of Southland. Best today of 10.61. Just waiting for that wind. Round 6.
tell you down at the pole vault, I'm just looking at Via Chaplow going to the top of the mark, so Via still in the competition, and hopefully Milana Henderson is too, but I'll keep the binoculars down that way. And we're also about a minute away from start time in the first of two really exciting heats for the senior women's 200 metres. And here they are. Portia Bing's in lane 3, no one in lane 1. Danielle Goulderman in lane 2, Portia Bing 3, Cameron Smart 4. All from Auckland, Rosie Elliott 5, and Anna Grimaldi 6. Rosie, of course, the national record holder for 200 metres that she set in the opposite direction at Ngāpunawai in a great battle with Georgia Hulls, who is the reigning national champion and is down to line up in the second heat.
This is Alessandra McDonald, women's triple jump. Best of 11:45 today, and they're in their blocks.
About to get underway in the first heat of the senior women's 200 metres, and they're underway. First time of asking. Portia Bing quickly up onto the shoulder of Cameron Smart, and Portia has really opened up strongly here. Rosie Elliott out wide running a really strong bend as well, and they come around together. Cameron Smart's holding down third, Anna Grimaldi going well, and then Danielle Gelderman, Portia Bing and Rosie Elliott are going to cruise through to the final. It's the top 3 in each heat, so Cameron Smart through as well, and Anna Grimaldi crossing with Danielle Goldman, so they will rely on being one of the 2 next best times. But both Portia and Rosie looking really strong in heat 1.
Nice sort of fist pump there for the training partners. Now this is Lauren Bruce. She fouled her first round in the senior women's hammer.
I really liked where it landed. And Sarah just hopes she can put it together today. She's had a frustrating competition or two in recent times, but we know what she's capable of, and she's thrown well here in Wellington before.
Maybe not, just hold that.
It's back out there again. Is it clean?
White flag.
Oh, beauty. So this will be a measure, and it has landed near where you would expect 70 metres to be. It's always a little bit tricky here to try and guess, but that is out near the 70 metre mark from Lauren, which would be a pretty good first measure for her. Don't worry about the 46.04, that was from earlier.
That's a trick. Don't be tricked.
Now, Rosie Elliott, 24.19. Portia Bing, 24.19, credited with the same time. Cameron Smart, 25.04. So those 3 automatic qualifiers there, as we would expect, back to the triple.
Thompson needs a big one here, and not to be. And does not look comfortable.
No.
So she'll be disappointed with that effort and to lose her national title. But she is currently sitting in third. Got an exciting battle in these final 2 rounds. Hannah Collins overtook Elia Johnson in the 5th round. But Hannah Collins will be the next jumper, followed by Elia Johnson in the 6th round at the women's triple jump. This is 176. Perez hits it down with her hand.
64.05 for Lauren, by the way. Thought it was slightly more, but 64.05.
Second heat of the women's 200 metres, looking like they're lining up. Daniel Aitchison.
So that's the competition leader right now, Hannah Collins.
Georgia Hulls.
Will she clinch her first senior national title as a youngster?
It'd be quite an effort, wouldn't it, in this discipline at that age?
So we see the start list of Heat 2 in the women's 200. Reminder, top 3, next 2 fastest to qualify for the final.
Reigning champion Georgia Hulls engaged here. And Brooke Summerfield in here as well. Irene second in the 100 behind Zoe with an 11.55 season best there. So she's in really good shape. Georgia Hulls has represented New Zealand twice at World Championship level over the 200 metres. She's looking for her 4th consecutive 200 title. And number 2 on the all-time list behind Rosie with a 22.84 personal best when Rosie clocked that national record. And Zoe Hobbs here to support her fellow competitors.
Wonderful to see.
Absolutely. And after her performance here, 11 and 13 on Friday, that drew an enormous crowd.
Right. Elia Johnson is set to go in the triple jump as these women load into their blocks. So she's off in her 6th jump. She needs a big one to take the lead back. She gets a white flag, but we'll go to this race.
We've got Daniel Aitchison here. The 200-metre record in the T36 might be under threat today. But in the meantime, Georgia Hulls has come out strongly, as you would expect. Also, outside of her is Brooke Summerfield, and those two are comfortably clear. Around the corner, Jordan Blake giving chase and looking for that 3rd automatic qualifier. And through comes Georgia from Brooke, and Jordan will be home in 3rd spot, and Sarah Pearce 4th, and will be looking for a time that has been quicker than, or at least one of the next 2 best.
So this is Elia Johnson's final jump. Great extension through the phases. Probably didn't quite get that landing the way she wanted. And the measurement is 11.88. So that means that Hannah Collins of Canterbury has won the senior triple jump title. 12.45.
That's brilliant.
From Elia Johnson, 12.05, and Anna Thompson, 12.01. So congratulations, Hannah Collins. Senior women's hammer throw. This is Mia Bartlett. Gets the red flag there, but we're back to the high jump under 18s. Perez. 176, 3rd attempt. She's got the crowd behind her. And she's done it. Bravo.
Now, Sarah, just quickly back to that 200. Daniel Atchison's time there, 28.19, is 2/100ths of a second outside the world record. Of course, she's got a 100-metre world record, and you interviewed her the other day. And at the time, we thought that it wasn't going to count because she was in an able-bodied race. Then we found out the next day that that actually was incorrect information that had been passed on from World Powers, and so in fact it was, which is brilliant. And now she's gone really close there to the 200 record, but has missed it by 2/100ths of a second. But Danielle running exceptionally well. Georgia Hulls won in a 23.82, 23.98. Brooke Summerfield, Jordan Blake 25.33. They are automatic qualifiers for this afternoon's 200-metre senior women final, which goes at 2:06. Elliot Hulls, Bing and company. We look forward to them doing battle, and we've got 3 heats of the men's coming up shortly.
Now, by my calculations, the next 2 fastest qualifiers for that final are Danielle Goldman. First, Sarah Pearce, 25.70 of Hawke's Bay Gisborne. Looks like she set a personal best in that second heat, which is brilliant. And then Danielle Goldman, 25.92. So they will complete the field in the senior women's 200-metre final, set to go later this afternoon. But let's go back to the hammer throw. Lauren Bruce, 64.05 in round 2. What can she do in round 3? Well, it's another foot foul, unfortunately.
She's put it out there again, similar sort of distance, but 2 fouls so far in the 1 measure.
Can't quite hold that at the end of her throw with the speed that she generates. Very well known for her incredible strength in the gym. and power as well. Some of those throws that we saw a few years ago when she set the national record, 74.61. Her speed across the circle and speed of release was exceptional. So she's hunting that form back as we go now to Elizabeth Hewitt. 49.07 in round 1 is her best. This is round 3.
Local with really good support here at Newtown Park this morning. That looks good throw around the 50 metres again.
So consistent there for Hewitt this morning. The solar power crew has gone from the top end where they were supporting their discus throwers down to the finish line end of the stadium to support the hammer throwers.
3 heats for the men's senior 200. Now, the first heat isn't set down till 11:25, so we're a few minutes away from that, and they look to be very competitive heats, but we'll talk more about them as they get closer. But it's the top 2 and then the next 2 fastest times, so pretty cutthroat with the 3 heats.
So Perez there getting some guidance from her coach and her assistants. The bar is moved to 181 for Perez at the women's under 18 high jump. Straight to 181. First attempt. Perez, French Polynesia. And great attempt. Really loved the way she ran that bend. She'll go back, make some adjustments. But good competition there, Hickson and Perez. And it's all Perez in the final stages of this under 18 women's high jump. As an international, she is not awarded the national title, but she'll collect a gold medal.
So they get a visitor's medal, which is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. More wandering in. I think Sam Tanner will bring a few in today. The men's 1500 metre senior final is at 12:35. Prior to that, 12:25. Laura Nagel against Rebecca Aitkenhead, and that's not all. That senior women's 1500 is a pretty deep field. The men are sitting, waiting for start time in the first heat. Can tell you Tommy Tapuni there, Joe Dolphin there. Tommy Tapuni, of course, we've been talking about running some pretty quick 400 metre times. Well, at this championship, he sidestepped that, but he will line up in the 200 metres. I've just got my eyes there. I think I can see Lex Revel Lewis, who's down to run in a heat, which we were just talking earlier because he was pretty tired when he talked to you yesterday, as you'd expect. I can tell you I've run a lot of 400s and nowhere near as fast as Lex, and you wouldn't be able to talk to me for an hour after I finished a 400.
Oh, Mark, no, surely not.
And I thought he did pretty well.
He did pretty well. Do you know, well, it's only first and only interview that I've had to do seated, actually. At one stage, I sort of looked at him and I thought, are you going to have a little bit of maybe a little spit there? And quite common for 400 metre runners. And I thought, oh, goodness, this could be a first. But he managed to contain it. Lex Revelos, he's had a brilliant year. Now, unfortunately, Tommy Tapuni, just a slight tweak in that 100 last week at the Sir Graham Douglas, hence why he's gone to the 200, didn't line up in the 400, didn't line up in that 400 at the Sir Graham Douglas as well. But we'll see what he can do here. He's had exceptional early season form. Tommy Tapuni, a real talent, as we see Perez, attempt 2. Sorry, that's attempt 3 actually, so that signals the end of her competition. But a brilliant one is that. All smiles for our French Polynesian visitor. She's had a great day today, 176. As we go to the women's hammer. And more Pacifica friends. Nia Bartlett in the Orana Tafili. In the Samoan singlet. It's a good throw there by Tafili.
It's landed somewhere near the 50-metre mark. We get back to the first heat of 3 in the men's senior 200. We've got Joe Dolphin. He's just 18, Joe. He won the New Zealand Secondary Schools 100 metres, and he made the 100-metre senior final, and he ran 10.67, so he's in good shape.
He's in great shape, and I actually had a chat to him and his father this morning, James Dolphin, who went to the Olympics for this event. So, and Joe was really disappointed with his 10.67.
Wow,
I said, not far off, 10.61's your personal best. It was your first senior final. You're only so young. But again, they have high expectations, gift and a curse at times.
Yep.
But let's see what he can do here in this 200-metre heat.
And it's a really good heat with Fergus McClay between Tommy and Joe here as well, out of Otago. Gee, they've got some good sprinters down there at the moment.
Tegan Ashley at the hammer throw. She's had best throw in round 3, 46.24. That's her 4th round throw. So to update you in the senior women's hammer, they are in round 4. But the senior men, heat 1, 200 metres, set to go.
And remember, top 2 only, so Tommy, Fergus, Joe, only 2 of those 3 can go through automatically. Other will have to rely on a time, and that's if some of the other men here can't provide. Tommy Tapuni's going really well on the stagger, Joe Dolphin as well. Fergus McClay's between them. They are the leading 3 coming around the corner. Canterbury runner John Mottis out wider. Tommy Tapuni's comfortably in front here of Joe Dolphin and Fergus McClay. So Tommy and Joe will go through automatically, and you'd imagine that Fergus has done enough as a next best 2 time, but in 3 heats, it's pretty cutthroat stuff.
Nice to see Tommy Tapuni run so freely in his upright running. Tall athlete, exceptionally talented.
21.84 under a hold, as we'd say in the horse racing game.
And Joe Dolphin, 22.25. Just a following wind of slight following wind 0.1. Fergus McCleary, 22.31. So we'll write that time down as the next fastest time. John Mottis of Canterbury, 22.93. So we'll keep an eye on those times. A reminder, top 2 in each heat plus the next 2 best times will advance to the final.
And 2 more really competitive heats to come. And Lex Revel-Lewis, the 400-metre champion from yesterday in this next heat, alongside Cody Wilson. And the national record holder still, Joseph Miller.
Coach of Joe Dolphin.
So you would have had a keen eye on heat number 1. And those men go through their warm-up routines, 11:30 start time, so a few minutes.
So this is Shepherd Oaks at the women's hammer, round 4. Best today of 49.35.
Marshall Kirkwood. And completing our paradiscus field at about minutes, Hakapuna, Shannon Murphy.
That does not look like an improvement, and she walks out the front, gets the red flag.
Lining up for the second heat of the 2
So we're in round 4 at the senior women's hammer. The high jump under 18 has concluded. The triple jump women's senior has concluded. We've got long jump para on the back straight. They are just about ready to go, as we see Nadja Kumarich currently sitting in 3rd place in this women's hammer. Her 3rd round 50.29 is her best throw, and that will challenge that.
Quick update on that pole vault women's under 20. Via Chaplow won that from Hawke's Bay Gisborne, 3:46. She won that on countback from Elaine Zai and Milana Henderson. That's just updated now as we get to the blocks for the second heat of the senior men's 200 metres. Lex Revel-Lewis, Cody Wilson, who finished third in the 100 metres. They come up out of the blocks, expected to be to the 4. National record holder Joseph Miller, well down on his 20:37 these days, but outstanding to still see him competitive at this level. He only just missed making another national final in the 100.
So Nadia Kumarich's throw was 51.62, so that's an improvement. Here's Lauren Bruce, round 4. As she winds up and she stays in. And she'll take that throw, walks out the back, white flag. And that looks like an improvement to our eye up here from her second round throw of 64.05. But we'll get a measurement of that as the senior men's heat 2 set to go.
Eyes on number 4 here, Lex Revel-Lewis, backing up from the 400 win yesterday's away nicely. Joseph Miller's out nicely as well. Taryn Trigo, local runner, doing well out wide as they come around the corner. And Cody Wilson is strong. He's hit the front here. Cody Wilson. Joseph Miller still there. Coming underneath Lex Revel-Lewis. Revel-Lewis is going to take it out. Cody Wilson's holding down second. They'll be the top 2. And coming through closer in, Jackson Rogers will be looking for one of the next best 2 times. But Revel-Lewis comfortable enough off the back of his excess yesterday. He ran 21.52. Very, very comfortable there. That 400 time yesterday, it was mid-46. It was an outstanding time in its own right. Because he'd run so fast at the Sir Graham Douglas, it was kind of like, oh yeah, okay. But that's a terrific time.
It is a terrific time, and I think he should be really proud of that because it's the second fastest time coming off a PB like that in ideal conditions. It's the Sir Graham Douglas last week where he had people that were running that he had to chase. So I think it bodes very well for Lex and his team. And I like the sensibility of the young man. You know, he knows he's, had a long season. He's going to take a rest now. He's not going to the Australian Championships and he's going to prepare for the Oceania Championships. So we wish him well there as we go back. This is Tafele of Samoa in round 5 at the women's hammer. Lauren Bruce's 4th round throw was 65.06. Tafele, round 5, through 46.22 in round 4.
Tell you, just in terms of times in that previous heat of the senior men's 200, Jackson Rogers 21.68, fastest so far. Joseph Miller in the running at the moment, 22.17. So the next 2 best times have come out of heat number 2 so far. Means no place for McClay or Mottis, unfortunately, out of the first heat. At heat number 3, times they need to beat, 21.68, 22.17 is the key time, isn't it? And in this final heat, we have a really good young talent in Zach Saunders. Angus Liver, who is good across multiple events, has a pretty quick time as well in lane 3, and Hayato Yaneto out of Otago. Speaking of Otago, back to the hammer.
Tegan Ashley comes out the front. Round 5, she's had a best of 46.24 in round 3. So Angus Liver, the national decathlon champion, had a busy weekend.
He's really quick.
Here's a talent.
Saw him run a leg of the relay yesterday. He looked good.
Yeah, great to see so many teams in that senior 4x100 metres relay last night. Otago, the victors, but wonderful to have 2 Otago teams. And super competitive across the board. You know, the Canterbury, Town Wellington down that back straight, that was impressive to watch.
I know they've been trying to get an under-20 team together. I'd love to see Zoe and Georgia and Rosie and Brock all get together, but it's not really possible the way things are.
Here's Elizabeth Hewitt sitting in second. She's had a best today of 51.80. That will challenge that. Little smile as we have heat 3. Senior men's 200, a reminder, top 2 plus next fastest 2 will go through.
And they're underway in heat number 3. And looking through the middle, Hayato Yaneto is running strongly early, and underneath him, Zach Saunders comes through very quickly, and Angus Leiber through on the inside. We've just been talking about him, and he's performing. Angus Leiber's going to cruise through here as an automatic qualifier alongside Zach Saunders, and Hayato Yaneto is going to have to rely on being quicker than Joseph Miller's 22 and 17. But, gee, Angus looked really good there.
Very comfortable.
And 21.60 has been his time. Zach Saunders also nicely through, looked after himself over the concluding stages, as you do, because there's not an enormous gap between these final times coming up. Men's senior 200, 2:12 this afternoon.
Shepherd Oaks at the hammer here as we wait for those senior men's times to come through.
So Zach Saunders will be second, Hayato Yaneto third. With the winning time 21.60 there, Jackson Rogers is going to be safe, 21.68. He's going to be through to the final. So it's really about Yaneto up against Miller, 22.17.
So Saunders' time 21.62 and Yaneto 21.81. So it's Jackson Rogers and Hayato Yaneto who will progress to the final this afternoon.
Just like the 100 metres, Joseph is next best, and he's doing so well. I just love the fact he's running against people he's coaching.
Kumarich at the hammer. Gets the white flag. She's had a best today of 51.62 on round 4. We're at round 5 in the senior women's hammer. Lauren Bruce is our competition leader at this point, 65.06, as we see the medalists in the senior men's discus. They had an early start this morning, the big boys. It's Kieran Fowler, and this is World Championship representative, 4th national title, Connor Bell. And his jandals. We've got a lovely display of different footwear up there, Crocs and jandals and some runners.
He was in his jandals this morning. He put on his socks and shoes while I was there. I was going to shake his hand. He said, I won't, I've just touched my feet.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Laura Bruce, round 5. What can she do? Season's best of 70.59. Our national record holder, and that is in the cage. So frustrating for Bruce, but she has one throw left as the hammer dangles. Precarious.
Go get that, Sarah.
I'll tell you what, my son Max would love to climb up there and get that.
Well, I'm about to depart, so I suppose I should go and get it. Hayden Sherman's about to step in, and I'm going to...
Well, we are next to the zoo, actually, so, you know, we can send some of these chimps up as we see the amazing officials and volunteers, and there's a few coaches down there too, because we're going to move the pole vault pits to the end closest to the 100-metre start. For the senior men's pole vault, that's later this afternoon. That will feature a great battle between Nick Southgate and James Stain. That is set to go at 1:30. So plenty of time for them to get the mats going. Get the mats set up, I mean. Welcome back, Hayden Sherman. How's the excitement levels for these 1500s?
Oh, it's good. There's a lot of excitement, and I was just trackside watching the 200s, and a lot of excitement for those 200s. All of the big names getting through and looking good too. All of them kind of running hard bends and then just backing off the gas, saving themselves for later this afternoon. I'm really pumped about those 200s. I almost haven't realised that, my favourite, the 1500's just around the corner as well.
Yeah, I really like the looks of Tommy Tapuna outright running, and I think that's going to be a great battle. Angus Liver, Tommy Tapuna, Lex Revel-Lewis, and of course the senior women's is going to be an absolute cracker. Bing, Hulls, Elliott, Summerfield. Reminder that 200 final is the women's will be 2:06 p.m. and the men 2:12. But lots to get through before then.
And what a senior women's triple jump. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I didn't catch the end of that, but I'm just seeing the results now. That must have been amazing. Young Hannah Collins coming through.
Young Hannah
Collins. At the top.
Finishing at the top. You know, a massive personal best. Well, we think actually maybe, so we have her personal best at, well, we know that she won the New Zealand Secondary Schools at 12:46. Now, whether that was windy or not, we're not entirely sure. But
Right.
You've got your spreadsheet there.
I've got a 12:44
12:44
wind legal best for her.
So maybe
Yeah.
it was a personal best
1
by 1
centimetre.
centimetre, but doesn't matter. In the heat of the moment, Hannah Collins against senior women stepped up.
Yeah.
She had the likes of Anna Thompson, many times New Zealand champion in the triple jump, and Elia Johnson, a heptathlete as well. She was third at the New Zealand Combined Events Champs recently.
And do you know much about Elia? Because she's Australian connections.
Yes, so I understand that she was in a college in the States and has then back to Australia, had a few long-standing injuries, but is now working with her coach Matt Wyatt, and they're making some gains there, and she's had some good improvement in the heptathlon this year, so wonderful to see. Training partner of Brianna Stephenson, who we'll see in action in the 100-metre hurdles later, as we go to the para discus. Now that's happening at the 100-metre start end of the ground. We've got the senior women's hammer in the very final stages. We've got one of our officials climbing up a ladder right now, and he's going to get down the hammer of Lauren Bruce's. We've got more and more officials holding that ladder at the bottom.
This is not the job that I would sign up for. I'm terrible with heights. I'm absolutely terrible with heights, especially on ladders.
Well,
look
he's
at this,
doing
it's
a good
quite
job,
an operation.
and I feel...
Imagine doing this in training. Like, that's well wrapped around.
Yeah, that's not... Oh, goodness.
Yeah, another
me.
twist around. Oh.
I
Of course,
wonder,
it's 4 kg.
Yeah.
You've got to watch out for the volunteers standing underneath you.
You really do.
But he's doing a good job at the moment.
Oh, goodness.
There's a lot of pressure on this situation.
He doesn't realise that how much pressure he's currently under. Oh,
He's
okay. Yeah, I
on
think
the live stream going all around the world.
I think he needs to do one more step up.
You don't train for these moments at the top of a ladder with global attention. He's got it. Confirmed he has rescued Lauren Bruce's hammer from the top of the cage.
He's dropped it down.
And the show will go on.
He gets a clap from some of the crowd in the stands, which is great. Now he's just coming down safely here. This is one of the events now in these National Track and Field Champs. Hammer retrieval. So lots to come this afternoon. Hayden, apart from the 1500s, what's front of mind?
Well, I was going to say the 1500s. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the high hurdles play out. But let's focus on this 1500. So this is the final. It's a big field. We've got Rosa Meyer, Brody Aristio, Alice Smart, Kate Curry, Sophia Lumbreras, Bo Ritchie. She's the one who's right on the cusp of getting that World Juniors qualifying time for this event. She's already got the 800. Zara Geddes, Sasha Ledecker, Renee Carey, Sophie Robb, Samantha Leichells, Kennedy Taylor, Abby Bolton, Neve Motley, Pascal Bowery, and Caro Heinen. So early stages, and we've got Bo Ritchie out the front and beginning to just stretch out the field. You can see it's the Waikato Bay of Plenty athletes at the front, 1-2, and then the Canterbury athlete right there as well. So it's Bo Ritchie at the moment setting the pace early in this competition. Now, in terms of places that the athletes have got in other events. Bo Ritchie, of course, took out the 800 ahead of Sofia Lombreras, who's also in this, and Samantha Lechelles as they go through 1:11. So that will be testing some of these girls, that sub 4:30 pace. That will be reasonably comfortable for Bo Ritchie, but it's right there or thereabouts at her personal best pace. So they go through 500 metres, 1/3 of the way through. It's single file stuff. Cara Heinen is right there. Neve Motley is right there as well, who won the steeplechase earlier in the weekend. So it's Cara Heinen tucked in behind Bo Ritchie, and then Neve Motley of Canterbury. They're your top three.
So a reminder of that World Juniors performance standard, 4:25 flat.
And 2 laps to run for the 1500 metre runners, led by...
So Bo Ritchie takes them through 700 metres, 2 laps to go now. A little bit of a movement from Zara Geddes, the Otago athlete, just coming around. And Zara Geddes got that silver medal behind Catherine Lund in the 5,000 metres earlier in the week. And they go through 800 and 2:27. So a significant slowdown on that lap, hence the ability for a few athletes to just come wide. So after single file stuff, now they're running 2 abreast as a field of 6 starts to pull away with 600 metres to go.
Just to remind, Bo Ritchie, remarkable talent at 17, moved up an age group for this championship.
So Bo Ritchie, the 800 metre champion, just on her shoulder is Cara Heinen.
Zara Geddes on the inside.
And now Cara goes wide and takes the lead for the first time. So Bo Ritchie leading from the front is now into second place. Zara Geddes is right there now in second place as they take the bell. Sasha Letica getting amongst the action as well. The Aucklander, she's into third place now. Bo Ritchie starting to fade a little bit. Okay, 300 metres to go. So we've got 5 women within contact of the lead. It's being led by Cara Heinen out the front. Right on her shoulder is Sasha Letica. Bo Ritchie's just letting that bungee cord stretch a little. And responding now, Cara Heinen, as they go into the final bend in the final of this 1,500 metres. The under-20 woman starting to kick away now is Cara Heinen. Here she goes. We've got 150 left to run. She made a move to get past Bo Ritchie. Now Bo Ritchie starting to show a resurgence. What's Bo Ritchie got over this last 100 metres? Now Bo Ritchie rising to the challenge. Here she comes. Bo Ritchie. She's going to take it out. Bo Ritchie for the line. Neve Motley up into second. Cara Heinen will have to settle for the bronze. Wow, Bo Ritchie, after leading early, seemed to be drifting off the pace, but she dug deep. She found that energy to get into the lead and take another national title. So she's your under 20, under 800 and 1,500 metre champion.
And stepping up to run in these under 20 grades for Bo Ritchie. You know, I thought she might have not had the legs at the bow there, but she had this brilliant resurgence, and she's had multiple success across a number of distances throughout the summer. It's been great to watch.
Absolutely. And what I love about Bo is she's made a conscious effort to focus on her speed. So entering 100, 200 club nights, really working on that top end speed. And it's a big temptation for young distance athletes is to focus on your strength and going long, going ever longer. And you'll find that ceiling just comes, well, it doesn't extend in terms of that top end speed. So it's always great to see a distance athlete when they're in their teens, especially lining up, doing a 400, doing a 200, working on that speed.
Yeah, and you look at James Preston, 47 low, a number of years ago, that speed endurance and having that top end speed is critical across all events.
Yeah. Yep, you've got to have it. And I want to say Nick Willis's 400 PB was set in a 4x4 around about 47 seconds. Potentially even 46, but that was a split, of course.
Now, sorry, Hayden. Now, I believe Bo Ritchie's coach is Angela Russick. So well done to her for that guidance and that team approach.
All right, Nadia Kumaric, she's sitting in third place. She needs a big throw here to overtake Elizabeth Hewitt. This is 6th round throw. It is needing to be over 51.80. It's over 50 metres, Sarah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that from Kumaric.
This could put pressure on Elizabeth Hewitt, who fouled in her 6th throw.
So Kumaric, what can she do? As we see the measurement, and it's not enough for the silver medal. 51.11 in her 6th round. As we see the para discus at the opposite end of the ground. And here we have Lauren Bruce, 6th round. She's got the title, but she wants the distance. 65.06 in round 4. The title is hers. And let's see what she can do here as she winds up. Stays in.
Well, it flies over 60 metres, but it is unlikely to be an improvement. But she's your national champion once again, ladies and gentlemen. She takes it out, much as she did last year. Last year it was Lauren Bruce, Lexi Maples, Danny Shepherd-Oates on the podium. This year it'll still be Lauren Bruce, but Elizabeth Hewitt, Nadia Kumaric welcomed on to the podium. And they were the winners. Elizabeth Hewitt won the under-20s. Nadia was second in the under-20s last year. So moving into the senior ranks and picking up medals. And so that is 3 back-to-back national titles in the hammer throw. Right. Under-20. Final of the 1500s. This is a long-awaited, much-anticipated race. There's a lot on the cards here. These boys are not only racing for national titles, they are also racing to impress the selectors to go to the World Under-20 Champs. So, early stages, we have out the front Daniel Prescott doing what he does best, leading from the front. We saw him do this at the National Secondary Schools Champs, just lead the field out and check the clock because they go through in 43 mid, which would be probably about 3:40 sort of pace. So they are flying. Daniel Prescott has turned this into a single file race early on. Now 7 boys have the qualifying mark to go to those Worlds. Daniel Sinclair has indicated that he's not going to go, so that cuts it down to 6, but we need to go from 6 to 2. So you'd think the 2 athletes who have had the time and finished top 2 would impress the selectors the most. That's what you would assume. So there's a lot on the cards here.
Massive race for these young gentlemen. And so awesome to see 7 of them obtain this performance standard. This is a critical race as we lead into the finish line for 2 laps to go. Under 20, 1500. Prescott on the charge.
Prescott, and then it's Cooper Whiteman, then it's Jamie Moore wearing that 224 of Auckland, and behind them, well, it's single file stuff, and those bungee cords are starting to stretch somewhat, trying to keep up with this hot pace. They go through 2 minutes flat at 800 metres. That's 3:45 pace. Now, a few of these athletes are capable of running 3:46, 3:47, but this is PB pace for a lot of them. It is really rolling. George Wiley is that 4th athlete, the Waikato Bay of Plenty athlete, just slipping off the back. As we see Daniel Sinclair round into 4th place, the first of the chasers of these top 3. Daniel Prescott, Cooper Whiteman, Jamie Mora, That's your top three. There's so much on offer here for these boys. A chance to put on the silver fern and represent your country at the National Juniors. Here we go, 400 metres left to run. Daniel Prescott continues to lead. Cooper Whiteman and Jamie Mora have had the opportunity to just sit in and relax. Number 540 there is Daniel Sinclair wearing the green of Manawatu Wanganui. He's right there or thereabouts, moving into fourth, and right on the heels, Daniel Sinclair. What can he do? Jamie Mora now moving into the lead. Cooper Whiteman just looks over his shoulder to check what's going on as he sees Jamie Mora and Daniel Sinclair go past him. It's Jamie Mora into the front as they hit the bend. We've got 130 metres to run in the under-20s, 1,500 metre final. Here we go. It's all on the line here. Jamie Mora in the lead. Daniel Sinclair right there. Cooper Whiteman right there. Jamie Mora is going to take it. He's going to be the national champion. Raises the finger. He will win the under-20 national title. Cooper Whiteman in second place. Daniel Sinclair will take third. My goodness, that was fast. Wow. So the time, 3:46.16. Jamie Mora, that's a big personal best. Cooper Whiteman, 3:47.11. So these boys, even if they didn't have the World Junior standard, they just posted it right there. Daniel Sinclair, 3:47.71. And after all the work that Daniel Prescott had to do early, finishes in fourth place, just out of the medals for Daniel Prescott. So it wasn't to be today for Daniel Prescott, but that was some championship 1,500 running.
Real championship racing. And hats off to Prescott there, because he really pulled those guys through into their personal best, fading to finish fourth there, but an exceptionally well-timed run by Jamie Mora. And we await to see what the selectors decide in their discretion around the criteria. I'd specifically ask the athletes to look at clause 7.1 in the selection policy so they know, and it's their responsibility to understand the policy and the ins and outs of it. But that race has a lot of bearing on who will travel to Lima to the World Juniors in August later this year.
And regardless of who goes, I'm just so amped about this next generation coming through. You know, they've seen James Preston in the 800, they see Sam Tanner, Geordie Beamish, they've grown up watching Nick Willis in the 1,500 and the Robertson boys as well. And isn't it fantastic to see the next generation coming through, men and women? So great. Middle distance running is in safe hands with these boys into the next generation.
And Hayden
Very
says that with a beautiful big smile on his face. Do you know, when I saw that 7 of these under 20 men had qualified, I thought, gosh, did we get the standard right? But actually, they're just breaking it. And it's just so wonderful to see. And we've got actually the winner of, not of that race, but the senior women's hammer has concluded. Lauren Bruce is our national champion, and we've got Mark down track side to interview Lauren Bruce.
Here we are over at the hammer cage with the national champion for a third consecutive time, Lauren Bruce. Lauren, you're on a flight soon, so it's a fast turnaround for you. But hey, congratulations. How did you feel today?
Thank you. I actually felt really good coming in. Obviously wanted more than, I think I threw about 65 today. Yeah, feeling good, everything, perfect conditions here really. And yeah, national title, happy with that, but left wanting more from today for sure.
Sure. In terms of today in the cage, you left one up there in the cage there. Does that happen often?
Usually there's one hammer that gets stuck up each comp, and you know, we only had 7 girls today, so I just wanted to slow us down a little bit and give us a bit of a break before we went into the last round.
How's your form been leading into this competition? Obviously, you're expecting maybe closer to 70 today.
Yeah, I thought I might go 75 today, kind of thing. I have had a few comps over 70. I had 65 a couple of weeks back, and yeah, I think I'm very excited to get over to Europe and have some competition again. There's, I guess, a bit of a gap with Nicole and Julia not competing out there anymore, and yeah, kind of realise now how much that competition helped to push the tape out a little further.
Well, you are the national record holder. We know that you've got that qualifying mark in you, so where do you hope to post it? You're about 2.5 hours away from flying back to Melbourne, so what happens after that?
Yeah, so I head back to Melbourne, probably have a little bit of a break for a week or so, and then we have flights booked to Europe in 2 months' time, so we'll head over there, and there's a few hammer comps that we're looking at over in a Germany, France kind of area, and yeah, we've got 2 months to get ourselves in shape to go through 74, so.
You confident?
Yeah.
Good on you, Lauren, and you have to be. Hey, thanks for your time, thanks for sticking around.
Thanks very much.
Lauren Bruce, she's on a 2:40 flight back to Melbourne, her base these days, and we look forward to what she can do in Europe with a view to qualification for the Paris Olympics as we head back upstairs to Sarah and Hayden.
Thanks, Mark. Well, it's lucky it's a short distance to Wellington Airport from Newtown Park, so Lauren Bruce can get her flight. She'll certainly be looking for more, as she said, but another national title, that's an achievement in itself, as we have the starters in the Para 200.
Yeah, so
lining
this
up.
field we've got Sasha Aldazani, the T38 athlete from Taranaki, Anna Stephen, the Paralympian from Tokyo, Kate Danaher, T37 athlete from Auckland, and Gabriel Wright in the racing chair in the T54 category from Auckland. So Anna Stephen there running on the inside. So back at the Tokyo Paralympics, she finished 8th in this race with a 28.88 and also posted her PB of 28.60. And they're away here in the Para 200. And Anna Stephen getting up to speed. Kate Danaher just next to her. Sasha Aldazani running well on the inside, wearing the Taranaki colours. And now Anna Stephen really getting up to speed, letting that blade do the work as she just steams down this home straight here to a good applause from the crowd. Here she comes to the line, just a tick over 30 seconds, so good result there for Anna Stephen. Sasha Aldazani finishing second, and there goes Gabriel Wright, navigating that bend and then really getting that share up to speed. So 30.65 is Anna Stephen's time, 33.81 Sasha Aldazani. Kate Danaher 35.48 and Gabriel Wright 39.08.
Congratulations to all our para athletes. It's been wonderful to have all of our paras, our Paralympians out here competing, integrated within the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships.
Now this one will feature Mitch Joint in the 200, the area record holder for the T64 200, and he picked up that bronze in Paris last year, and he's feeling pretty good. I had a chat to him earlier, apart from a slight stress fracture in the femur. But he says it's not giving too much grief, so there we go. It sounds horrific, but he said he's still feeling good, and all eyes on the Paris Paralympics as the main goal. But of course our para elite athletes will also be targeting the Colbert Para Athletics Championships, which is in May as well. So the double header for the para crew this time around.
It's a big year for the Paras.
It really is. So the field in this race from the inside, we've got Lucas Pedersen. He's in the racing chair. Then we've got Mitch Joint, area record holder. Zachary Orville, Tamahai Wirepa is running in lane 5. Joshua Taylor, lane 6. Jackson Woolley, the young athlete out of Tauranga, there he is with 776 in lane 7. And Albert O'Brien, the T20 athlete from Wellington, just 14 years of age. And we've just got one athlete in the women's para long jump. So Paddy Walsh has the action all to herself. She's got a 4:40 best from round 2. That was her 5th round jump.
So just looking at the field events in progress at the moment, we've got the para long jump men and women on the back straight. The senior women's hammer has concluded. We've also got the para women's discus in action. And we have got our pole vaulters warming up now. As my friend who came and watched yesterday said, the pole vaulters do warm up for a long time, don't they? So stay tuned, because that's coming and we will cover that later. But it will be a while before they're on as we go to the start of this para men's 200 metres.
Pedersen, Joint, Orble, Wirepa, Taylor, Woolley, O'Brien, all eyes on lane 3. Mitch Joint, and they're away in the para 200 metres. Great start there from Jackson Woolley, right up to speed, and you can see now working that bend as Mitch Joint. Once he's off the bend, he really gets up to speed. Look at the gas go on, presses the speed button. Jackson Woolley looking nice and strong as well. But here comes Mitch Joint up to the line. Woohoo! Oh yeah, full of speed, absolutely flying. So his area record, as we see Lucas Pedersen over the line in about 38 seconds. So his area record from Paris last year, 23:32. That was into a slight headwind. He had wonderful pacemaking from Jackson Woolley out of the corner of his right eye. Just being able to key off him. Jackson started really fast. There's Jackson Woolley now. Gives him the pat on the back. Thanks for rabbiting me around that bend. So the Riverhead Athletics man.
Like a slingshot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just winding up and then...
Now, he told me, I asked him, what do you focus on in terms of the different stages of the race? And for him, it's all about the bend. He stays really focused on his processes, because it takes a little while for the blade to get up to speed. And once it's up to speed, then it's about relaxing. So once he's onto that home straight, he just relaxes and uses that momentum and that reactive force that blade gives him to just almost coast, but not to stress. Is that something that you thought about when you were running a 200? I often ask sprinters, what do you think about once you're at top speed? Because if you strain, you can tighten up too much. So do you relax, or is it just go, 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 go?
It's go, 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 but you need to be positively aggressive.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, the 200 for me was at the day 2 at the end of a heptathlon. Never ran a great 200, I have to say. It was a bit of a struggle street event for me, but definitely you want to be aggressive around that bend, but as relaxed as possible. We know that when you get into that flow state, that's when you get the best out of you, regardless of the event. But you certainly need to be able to turn it on when it's required. So we see some of the para-medalists here. This is from the shot put earlier today.
You had some great results there. Now, next to come up on the track is the senior women's, senior men's 1500, one of the marquee events of the weekend, traditionally run midday Sunday at the end of the weekend. And we've got, in the senior women's, we've got Alison Andrews-Paul coming back after her domination in the 800. Holly Manning, who's also dribbling across the 4, 8 and 15. Busy weekend for her. Bridget Dennehy, who looked so good in the 5,000 metres, stepping down to the 1,500 metres. The likes of Emily Rowan stepping down as well in distance. But here we go, final jump for Paddy Walsh.
We have a pause in the track action.
Great drive of that left knee. You're trying to hold that left knee as long as possible, an extended position that will project your hips forward. So Paddy Walsh there in the para women's long jump, held at the same time as the para men's, featuring William Steadman. And we will take a short break actually, but we will be back for this highly anticipated showdown. Women's 1,500 metres set to go 12:25. Men's 1,500 metres 12:35. We'll be back shortly.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our
Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Certainly like to congratulate Jennian Homes on their 40th anniversary. As a professional golfer, having my name alongside your name, I'm very proud of that fact.
Thank you, Jennian, for supporting emerging New Zealand golfers by enabling the Jennian Homes Charles Tour to exist. Your support of amateur and professional golfers in New Zealand has enabled us to travel overseas and compete on a world stage.
How do we get people to listen to us on the hits?
You should get comedians, you should get actors, you get TikTok stars.
Just people that aren't us.
Yeah, exactly. Just people who are famous. You need to change your fashion.
So this stuff we're wearing now...
Oh, no.
We need a catchphrase. Jono and Ben.
Like a mailbox.
Because they always deliver. Are we still on the billboard, or are we...
You guys are tiny.
Well, let's give it a go. Not so sure about this. Well, they seem to know what they were talking about.
Yeah. Mornings are funnier with Jono and Ben. Weekdays from 6 on the hits.
Kia ora, welcome everyone back to the coverage here at the Jennian Homes 2024 New Zealand Track and Field Champs. We are waiting in anticipation for the start of the senior women's 1500, and the senior men's will go directly after that. These brought to you by Puma. So Emily Rowan, Laura Nagel, the reigning champion. She's won 2 of these in a row. We've got Cara McDermott, Sophie Hicks, Rebecca Green, Aisha Shafi, Holly Manning, Peyton Lee, Alison Andrews-Paul, the 800-metre champion, Bridget Dennehy, the 5,000-metre champion, Tilly Hollier, the New Zealand 3,000-metre champ, Debbie Donald, Rosa Twyford, Amy Ferguson, Caitlin Bassett. This is a quality field, and I am super pumped to see what unfolds here over 3 3/4 laps. The 2 names that we're keeping an eye on in particular are Rebecca Green, who looked so good at the Sir Graham Douglas meet last weekend in the 1500, and she took that out ahead of Bridget Dennehy. So 4:12 was the time for Rebecca Green to Bridget Dennehy's 4:14, and Laura Nagel was back in 4:15. Now, Laura, over recent years, has just had the edge over Rebecca Green, or Rebecca Aikenhead now. But last weekend, it was reversed, and Rebecca Aikenhead, after finishing silver last year, would love to upgrade that to gold. So that para long jump competition is finished up. Paddy Walsh finishing with a 4:40, and we have the under 18 boys hammer throw. They're getting ready to go shortly. They will start at 12:30, so still a little way before we get underway with those boys. The other events that are still happening out there is the women's 14 and over discus para throw. Now, I haven't seen any updates from that. We've just had 3 rounds so far, and it looks like potentially we're setting up with Millie Marshall-Kirkwood for the seated throws. But these boys just getting warmed up for the under 18s. And down the other end of the ground, I can see James Stain producing some impressive practice vaults for the senior men's pole vault, which kicks off at 12:30. So just a sense of anticipation here at Newtown Park, a murmur in the crowd, people getting their lunch, getting their coffees, getting all set up for an electric 3 hours of action remaining at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Champs. It's hard to believe we've been here for 4 days and we've only got 3 hours left. We finish the afternoon's coverage on the track with the 4x400s. The final events in the field will be the men's javelin at 2 p.m. and the men's pole vault. If you've been looking at the program, that has been moved forwards to 12:30. So just playing havoc with the lunch break we had planned for our hard-working crew out there, but we'll bring as much of it as possible. And the other senior event to happen in the field is the women's high jump. That's at 1 p.m. Highly anticipated. A lot of ladies up into the 180s this year, and that's going to be a close tussle, so a little bit of a lull in the action. Mark Krosnowski, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you, Hayden. Nice to get out in the middle and to taste a bit of sunshine, and it's quite warm out there.
It's nice, isn't it?
Chedalay, it's lovely.
Yeah,
And,
I was out there with my jacket and jersey, had to take it all off.
Yeah, as Lauren said, Lauren Bruce, look, perfect conditions for her. Didn't quite work out for her in terms of the distance today, and it's kind of been the story of the morning for competitors like her and Connor Bell, but they've bagged another national title. They move another step on in their season. They say goodbye to the domestics, and they get out their passport, and Lauren gets out a passport a lot just to go home, but across to the other side of the world, and hope there that she finds the competition and the conditions to pull out an Olympic qualifying, which is within her capabilities, because it's less than her national record.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. A lot of our top throwers haven't fully clicked this weekend in terms of the distances that you might expect. But like Jacko and Tom said last night, it's difficult to fly home, and you're sitting in a plane and you turn up to Wellington and temperatures might be 10 degrees cooler than you've been training in. So just those little elements all come into play. I mean, like you said, conditions out there right now are pretty ideal. They're not in the mid-20s or late 20s as many of these athletes may have trained in or competed in throughout the summer, but it's certainly not much wind. But the cooler temperatures just means keeping warm between rounds, getting the muscles firing on all cylinders can be a little bit of a challenge.
And it's great to actually come along and get to see these people, because they're human beings, and we've got to remember that, watching them on television and pulling out world-class performances, often it's almost metronomic, and we expect it of them, particularly people like Tom, obviously, who's been doing it for a long time. But they are human, and they go through all the same human experiences and emotions that we go through, and yet try and perform. And it was interesting to read the comments and hear the comments of Jacko Gill saying that it was really tough, and he couldn't even put a 20 out there during the week. Coming off the high of the world indoors, coming to a different hemisphere, readjusting, and yet he's actually put out a really good distance yesterday. And Tom, in the end, wasn't that dissatisfied with what he did either. He was just unhappy that he lost to Jacko again. But, So, as I say, with Connor, early morning as well, coming off a training load, and with Lauren, she certainly expected that she might be able to push the 70 today, and she hasn't. But again, she is out there. They're effectively the national titles, and they are so far clear of their next competition because they are world class in their field. Then that also has, sometimes creates some limitations as well, potentially.
Now that we're into the final afternoon, the final 3 hours of the competition here at the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Champs, every time these athletes enter the track or the field, it will be for a final. So there will be medals on the line every time they go out. So the 1500 metre finals are to come. The senior men, senior women, we saw great racing with the under-20s just before. And then we've got the high hurdles, that's the under-20s and seniors. And then we move into the 200 under-20s and seniors finals. And then we finish the day, as we always do at the Track and Field Champs, with the 4x400 finals, and they are under 18, under 20, and we finish with the seniors. So expect some tired bodies, expect some very determined runners to see if they can grab some team medals in those 4x4s.
Now, Lauren was asking the officials over at the cage if we could have the medal ceremony pretty much immediately, and that's going to happen here.
So the results, Nadia Kumrich just picks up her medal, 51.62 with a PB. The 19-year-old moving up from the under-20 age group. And Elizabeth Hewitt, much as she did last year, doing so well in the under-20s, she finishes 18 centimetres ahead of Elizabeth Hewitt with a 51.80. But there was no catching this woman, the New Zealand record holder, Lauren Bruce. And yeah, interesting to hear her mention how she does miss having Nicole and Julia here, and acknowledging how it just really helped her put some pressure on that measuring tape, having those two stars of hammer throwing. So
the benefit of competition there yesterday, good to see that, even though we know that Tom and Jacko are capable of 22, that still mid-21s, that's good. And Nick not too far behind them as well. So they still have that competition. Speaking of competition, just on that under 20, what sort of time did they run out there? Because that's the extraordinary category where we've got, I think, 7 that have done under the performance standard for the World Championships, and only 2 can go. Jamie Moore, I believe, came out on top.
Yeah,
just coming off the track.
3:46 for Jamie Moore and Cooper Whiteman. So they're both PBs. For both Cooper and Jamie, and so you've got to think selectors will have taken note and put a couple of asterisks next to Jamie and Cooper's name. So brilliant fast running, set up of course by the front running of Daniel Prescott, but when you front run you do burn a few more of your battery points, and coming into that last lap, Daniel Prescott's battery level was a little bit lower than the others, and Jamie Moore coming out on top with a huge kick over the last 250 metres. Got into the front on that top bend and then made his way to the front. But we turn our attention to this women's 1500, which I want to say it's one of the most quality fields we've seen in quite some years, namely because all of the women here have competed in this event for multiple years. Well, most of them have, and they've all been improving year on year. Someone like Laura Nagel, she came back from the States, I want to say about 8 years ago from her college career, but she's gone from strength to strength since then here in New Zealand. There she is with the sunnies on, wearing 5.56. And she's pulled a lot of those other ladies along with her. Many of these ladies run for the Bays Athletics Club. It has a wonderful female program. But a lot of these women are in lifetime best form, just inching their way up the all-time list in the 1500, in the mile, in the 800. So you've got Alison Andrews-Paul, who you'd expect to have a big kick if it gets tactical, being the 800 metre champ. But then I imagine Rebecca Aitkenhead will not want this to go slow. She will be prepared to lead. There she is wearing the blue and yellow of Otago with the hip number 5.
The thing about Laura Nagel is that it's like she's hit 30 and hit another switch. And this season she's posted her best 800 metre time, which she did at the Pots. Excellent conditions, of course, there, but 2:05.37. She didn't just shave something off it. She shattered her own best there. And then the 4:09.38 in Auckland for a PB 1500, and we saw that epic mile at Cook's Gardens with her and Rebecca Aikenhead, which Rebecca came out on top of, but Laura just in superb form, as you say. Bridget Dennehy looked very good in the 5,000 on Thursday, and she was dominant in that, and Tilly Hollier ran a good 5,000 on Thursday as well. She picked up the 3,000 metre title here at the Capital Classic in early February. To be fair, it was a field that she was expected to be comfortable in, and she was, but she's had a really good season coming off her double gold at the Pacific Games up in the Solomons.
Absolutely. So many characters in this story who could all play a role in how these 3 3/4 laps are written. This is the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Champs. These 1500s brought to you by Puma. So that field again: Emily Rowan, Laura Nagel, Cara McDermott, Sophie Hicks, Rebecca Green, Aisha Shafi, Holly Manning, Peyton Lee, Alison Andrews-Paul, Bridget Dennehy, Tilly Hollier, Debbie Donald, Rosa Twyford, Amy Ferguson, Caitlin Bassett, and we're away in the final of the Senior Women's 1500, and straight to the front, Holly Manning. This is unexpected from the 800-metre runner who's had a busy weekend running both the 800 and the 400 and now the 1500, just to cap off a busy old weekend. But she goes to the front to set the pace early on, and Rebecca Aikenhead prepared to just tuck in behind her. Laura Nagel is right there as well, and there's Alison Andrews-Paul just in 4th place, Bridget Dennehy back in 5th, and then it's Peyton Lee sitting in 6th place. So strung out by this pace set from Holly Manning, who's prepared to go to the front. It's single file stuff as we go through 300 metres in 50 seconds on the nose. Holly Manning not being afraid to take it out early.
Unless she's not having to cut too much breeze in these lovely conditions, and the flag's relatively still in the windsock too, and certainly nice warm conditions now out there in the centre of the arena as well. Holly Manning leading, Rebecca Aikenhead, Laura Nagel right on her tail in 3rd spot.
So they went through in 1:08, which will be stressing some of these ladies, but I imagine Laura Nagel, Rebecca Aikenhead, Bridget Dennehy, that will feel reasonably comfortable as expected, and a really ideal pacemaking from Holly Manning, who continues to lead. So they're locked in like this is a time trial. It's almost like a diamond league in terms of how everyone's just running single file here behind Holly Manning. So it remains Holly Manning, Rebecca Aikenhead, Laura Nagel, who's starting to just come up on the shoulder of Rebecca. There's Bridget Dennehy, the 5,000 metre champion. Alison Andrews-Paul, the 800 metre champion. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 laps. She's familiar with that, Alison, and it's great to have her back for these national championships and last year as well. She defended her 800 metre title, steps up to the 1500, as you say, against one of the strongest fields we've had in a wee while here.
And they go through the 800 in 2:19. So slight slow up after a 68 first lap, and hence why Rebecca Aikenhead now is sensing this is my moment. I've had 2 laps to relax. If I want to make sure that Laura doesn't have any sting in that kick left, I need to make my move now and put some pressure on the field. And you can see those bungee cords already starting to stretch. The field of 6 at the front is starting to pull away from a group of 4 behind them. So it is now Rebecca Aikenhead, Laura Nagel, Bridget Dennehy, Alison Andrews-Paul, and right in that behind there is Tilly Hollier, the 3K champion. Here we go. It's a 5-woman race now as they come up to collect the bell.
Aikenhead leads Nagel. There was a sliver, 2/100ths of a second between them in the mile in favour of Aikenhead at Cook's Gardens.
Now the pace goes on. Rebecca has switched into fourth gear. Laura Nagel is going with her. They go through in 3:26, so the pace is definitely picked up in that lap. Laura Nagel, Rebecca, we've seen this so much from these two, and so often Laura has come around Rebecca to win the title. But can Rebecca hold on? She's had to do about 400 metres of leading now. Does she have the strength to hold off the speed, the kick of Laura Nagel? Will she be able to repeat from last year? Laura Nagel is on the shoulder of Rebecca Aikenhead. Rebecca Aikenhead, here she is. She was the mile champion. Will she be the 1500 metre champion? Or will Laura reclaim her title? Rebecca Aikenhead, here she comes. Finally, she's your 1500 metre champion. Laura Nagel in second. Bridget Dennehy third. Alison Andrews-Paul comes through for fourth after a win in the 800. Rebecca Aikenhead has finally beaten Laura Nagel at a 1500 metre national champs.
And she deserved it too, because after she took over from Holly Manning, she had Nagel right behind her, and the battle ensued at Cook's Gardens. Nagel was able to get alongside, maybe even just edge in front, and Aikenhead came back. But today, not so. Laura just couldn't quite reach Aikenhead, who kicked strongly, and she came off the back of a personal best last week in 4:12.50 at the Sir Graham Douglas, and she's lowered that today. She's had to 4:11.65 from Rebecca Aikenhead, 0.3 of a second to the good of Laura Nagel, 4:11.95, and 4:15.23 from Bridget Dennehy. Alison Andrews-Paul fourth and a 4:17.75. Some really good times here, and a Rosa Twyford kicking home quite strongly ahead of Tilly Hollier.
So Rebecca Green taking the win, 4:11.65, just outside of that PB she set last year in Loughborough, actually. So that might have been her season's best. Laura Nagel, just a couple of seconds outside of her best, 4:11.95. And Bridget Dennehy, that's a personal best for her, 4:15.23. Looking down the line of those results, there's a lot of PBs popping up on our records, and fantastic running with 9 women under 4:30. You know, you go right down to Emily Rowan, 4:25, Peyton Lee, 4:23, Cara McDermott, 4:21. I think she's run faster than that before, Tilly Hollier. But there's the start list with the senior men's, and we're going to cross down to Becky Aikenhead with Sarah Cowley-Ross right now.
That is so cool. Well, I have a victorious Becky Green, Aikenhead. Congratulations, your first senior women's 1500 metre title.
Yeah, pretty stoked. It's been a lot of goes at it, so it was nice to finally do it. Yeah.
And today you had Holly Manning setting a great pace for you and Laura through to 900. Does Holly Manning get some credit for that performance as well?
Yeah, maybe I'll send her a few Easter eggs or something, because that was really good of her just to be brave enough to take the lead. It was actually a wee bit windy out there, so yeah, it was amazing for Holly to set it up like that. Otherwise, I think it was going to be quite bunched.
Now, you've had some amazing battles with Laura over this season, over the years. Last year, she got the title. This year, it's you first across the line. But what does this season mean to you? Because you really stepped it up again.
Yeah, this season, I mean, Olympic years are always big years, but I feel like everyone steps up this year. But yeah, always just learning and trying to learn things from each race. Like, if you don't win, you learn. So been doing a lot of learning lately. Yeah.
Well, last week at the Sir Graham Douglas, you had a different style of race to you had today. What's been the highlight for you this season?
Ooh, probably the mile champs, just because it was like such a tussle with Laura and I think on that day I had a bit of fight that I don't usually have. So, yeah, probably that one. It was fun. It was a really fun race, yeah.
You mentioned this is your first senior title, but you've had lots of junior titles over the years. To anyone who's out there who's thinking, who's had a bit of time, not from the juniors to seniors, what's your advice for them?
Just stick at it if you're still enjoying it. I think you're always going to go through highs and lows, but you learn a lot from the lows. And yeah, if you just keep going, keep giving your best, then that's what we can do. Yeah.
Well, it was her best today. Becky Green, Becky Aikenhead, recently married. We've seen you over 800, we've seen you over 5,000 PB at the Murray plant this year. Wonderful to see you get your national title. Just a shout out to your team though, Becky.
Yeah, thanks so much to Craig Kirkwood, and yeah, massive team. My husband at home, he supports me so much. So yeah, I wouldn't be here without them. Yeah.
Silver in the 800, gold in the 1500, one of the marquee events here at the Jennian Homes Track and Field Championships. Our winner in the 1500 metres, Becky Green.
There we go, and as we see the boys getting ready for the pole vault. So this much anticipated battle between Nick Southgate and James Stein. There's Max Atwell. We've seen a fair amount of him. He's got a busy old day today. And there's Nick Southgate. What can these boys do in these pretty good vaulting conditions under warm Wellington sunshine? I had a chat to James yesterday and he seems pretty confident, pretty excited to vault well. He's pumped that Nick is in good condition as well because they'll feed off each other into this competition. Expect them to come in later as the heights go up on the bar.
We saw James at the Potts Classic, Hayden, when we were working together there, and he ended up with 5:32, but he was clear over the 5:42. He brought it down on the way down with his hand. Second to Charlie Myers. They were due to recommence their battle here at the Capital Classic, but because of the appalling conditions, they tried twice to get it started and couldn't. So that was unfortunate, but the exact opposite conditions today. I'm sure James will enjoy it, and of course his rivalry with Nick Southgate promises to be one of the highlights of the afternoon.
Yeah, James Stein with 4 national titles to his name. Nick with, I don't know how many, haven't been able to count, but we'll come to that soon.
Seven, I think.
Yeah,
but here's the big one.
First priority is following the senior men's 1500 metre final. This is a much anticipated duel. Sam Tanner right at the back there. He's the number one man and the firm favourite to take out this title. But behind him will be some boys who will be hoping they could take a big scalp. Sam Tanner, Matthew Taylor, Ben Bidwell, Luke Hitchcock, Benjamin Wall, Jack Payne, Russell Green, Callum Stewart, Noah McDermott, David Lee, George Varney. So it's a quality field. A lot of boys in lifetime best shape. Over recent weeks, we saw a great performance from Russell Green, posting a 3:41 at Sir Graham Douglas last week. David Lee with a 3:42. And at the mile champs earlier in the year, Sam Tanner took that out. David Lee finishing in the silver medal position.
And it's a jog early, and it's a tactical battle, much like we had in the 5,000 metres on Thursday night. And actually, George Varney took the lead a couple of times in that. He's currently second now. He was briefly leading. No one wants to take the pace. And of course, Sam, well, it's not about any times today for Sam. It's about another national title.
All right, they go through in 1:16, which is definitely not fast. So we often see the senior men playing a lot of cat and mouse and looking left and right, saying, well, you take it out. I'm all good just sitting back. Sam Tanner's thinking, I can actually run a pretty good 800. I've proved that a couple of times. I could actually see James Preston in the home straight when he ran that 1:44 the other night. So he's backing his kick, and at the front, the boys are still looking left and right, wondering when this thing is going to get going. Callum Stewart's at the front there. Ben Bidwell is right there as well. They probably didn't expect to be leading the race this deep into the senior men's 1500 metre final. There's David Lee. He's finished with that silver medal at the mile champs. Good form, as we say. Matthew Taylor, he's medalled before at this event. Russ Green as well has medalled here before and picked up the bronze last year behind Eric Speakman. Sam Tanner getting first. So Sam's won 3 of these events, and they go through 2:28 through 800 metres. So that's very, very comfortable. And that was 1:12. Now Sam Tanner goes to the front, and everyone says, "Oh, we better be paying more attention to this, because the favourite has found his way to the front with 600 to go." So look for a large injection of pace. And for Sam, he will want to just be at the front and control the race from here. No need to panic and put in a big surge. We saw him do that with 400 to go last year. But at the moment, he can go to the front and control it. David Lee just on his shoulder.
So Sam Tanner coming down. He'll get the bell this time. The locks are flowing today, unlike yesterday when he had it tucked under a cap. And Sam Tanner leads into the final lap, and now he starts to inject some serious pace into the race.
Jack Payne right there as well. David Lee right there in third. Ben Bidwar is there as well. But look at Sam Tanner. Look at the wheels go on. Absolutely in full steam ahead, going into light speed is Sam Tanner. 200 metres to go. He's finished the race sometimes when he's running a 1,500 metres by now, but it's been slow and tactical up to this point until he took the lead and absolutely blew the field apart. Looks over the shoulder. He's well in the lead. In second place, there is Jack Payne. It's going to be a big battle for silver. Sam Tanner, absolute domination. Russ Green is coming into second. Jack Payne is holding. Sam Tanner takes it. Big finish for third. Russ Green moves up to silver from his bronze last year. Wow, we thought it would be a battle for silver, but we just didn't know how it was going to unfold. In the end, Sam took it with 600 to go and absolutely dropped the hammer with 400. He loved that kick, and we all loved it as well.
Russell Green to second. Third, probably Jack Payne holding. David Lee had a lunge which took him to the track, but may have just missed that bronze medal. No, he's got it. He's got it. So the lunge was worthwhile for David Lee. He will snatch another medal to go with his mile medal. Sam Tanner with his victory salute. And Jack Payne, he's missed by 3/100ths of a second. Tanner, Green and Lee, the medalists in the senior men's 1,500 metre final of 2024.
So David Lee adding to some more medals that he's claimed this year with that bronze at the mile champs. Russ Green showing great speed over the last 100 metres to come past Jack Payne and David Lee. But Sam Tanner, did anyone get a split? we want to see it. Well, I can see it now. 51-59 for that last 400. So we talked earlier with Sarah Cowley-Ross the importance of middle distance and distance runners of keeping that speed. Now, if you can't run a 51 something, well, you're not going to be able to win a tactical national champs in the 1,500. So there it is. That's number 4 for Sam Tanner. He's won in 2019. That was him bursting on the scene, beating Hamish Garson. Won in 2022, 2023 and 2024. He's got the hat-trick back-to-back. Sam Tanner is with Sarah Cowley-Ross now.
Victorious again, it's Sam Tanner, our national 1,500 metre champion, with the hair out today. 51.46, they got you in that last 400, Sam. What do you think of that?
Oh, I didn't think it was that quick, but that's cool.
and talk me through that race.
I know it looked pretty, felt like it looked on the camera, I guess. Just relaxed the first couple of laps, and then 600 to go, moved, and then took the lead and sent it hard the last 400.
You did send it hard, and you've been sending it hard all season, in fact. You know, we've loved seeing you race in New Zealand, and a good battle the other night with James Preston, you know, pulling him to sub 145. What do we make of that performance as well?
Yep, totally pulled him through. No, it was good. Bit of psychological warfare going on before the race, and so he felt the pressure and then capitalised on it. So I was like, yeah, shot boy, that's so good. So it's cool to see.
Right, now you decided to wear your hair out today as opposed to the 800. Just wondering, first of all, I've got some questions coming through on the live stream, what hair products you're using?
Just conditioner. Condition your hair, ladies and gentlemen. It curls like this.
And after the ITM, you told me you were going straight mountain biking. What's the plan for Sam Tanner after another 1,500 metre national title?
Drive my V8 home, spend $250 on gas. BP, give me a sponsorship.
Right, well, earlier in the week, actually, I saw on Instagram, you may have not be saving on petrol, but you did save on accommodation on your Instagram Monday night, I think it was. Has anyone got any beds in Wellington? Where have you been staying these last few days?
Family and friends, the Valentine's place on the way down, and then Eric Speakman, the legend, hooked me up with a queen luscious bed with a beautiful pillow for the last couple of nights.
Right, we'll need to be a bit more serious. Now, tell me what's on the cards for you in the next few months?
I think I might be pacing a club night in Auckland in the next couple of weeks, which I found out before the race, so it'll be fun. But I don't know, we've got a couple of races in the US, like late May, so that, and then head over to, Europe to Andorra end of June.
Brilliant. Well, the big show is later on August. Well, August for the athletics.
August 6th.
August 6th.
15 final.
15 final. Right, now I've asked a few people some quick fire questions, okay? Croissant or pain au chocolat?
A pain au chocolat.
Eiffel Tower or Mona Lisa?
Eiffel Tower.
Favourite French athlete right now, Renaud Lavallini or Kevin Mayer?
Kevin Mayer.
He runs a 1500, so in his event, so that's all good. And final question, frogs' legs or snails?
I haven't had either. Ooh, snails.
Snails, there you have it. Not a snail today, though, in this 1500. Sam Tanner.
Frogs' legs.
No. Hey, congratulations, Sam. Another impressive title. A good workout as well. Bit of a speed workout at the end. But a big few days for you. So go ahead, rest and drive safely back to Tauranga.
Thanks, Sarah.
Back to you guys upstairs. Our 1500 metre championships have been decided. It's Becky Green and Sam Tanner taking the honours.
Thank you, Sarah. So we're going to take a short break here at the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Champs, but not for long. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll take a very quick lunch break, and as you can see, high hurdles will be the first thing back on the track. See you soon.